through the remainder of the season. The Dodgers won the West on the second to last day of the season on Raul Mondesi's home run. The heart and soul of the Reds team are shortstop Barry Larkin, rejuvenated veteran Ron Gant, and a dangerous slugger in right fielder Reggie Sanders. The Dodgers reached the postseason on the shoulders of Mike Piazza and Eric Karros, and last year's Rookie of the Year Mondesi. Divisional rivals for years, these divisional champions now prepare to do battle. A rivalry renewed. Next. Welcome to the second season. With the regular season now behind us, the postseason is about to begin. And here at Dodger Stadium, the first in the best-of-5 series between the Cincinnati Reds and the Los Angeles Dodgers. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Dodger Stadium here in Los Angeles. Along with Joe Morgan, I'm Greg Gumbel. We talked about renewed rivalry. The Reds and the Dodgers are exactly that. Joe Morgan, you were a member of the Big Red Machine that won 2 World Series championships. Then along came Tom Lasorda and the Dodgers and began issuing challenges.
Well, the Reds were such a force in the National League West that when Tommy Lasorda took over, he made a statement. He said, "We're going to hate the Reds." In fact, Greg, he would not allow his players or their wives to wear anything red to the ballpark or on the team plane.
These guys come out of different divisions now. It wasn't the case when you were playing.
No, it was the rivalry then was to get out of the West and into postseason play. Now they're fighting for a divisional title.
Let's talk a little bit about momentum here. Now, the Cincinnati Reds clinched early, then lost 18 of their last 31 games, while the Dodgers had to go down to the wire. And in fact, last Saturday night, Raul Mondesi hit this home run at San Diego, which clinched the pennant, or the division, for the Dodgers. And they come in on a roll. They've won 17 of their last 25 games. Who has the momentum, and is it important?
Well, I think momentum is important, and no doubt that the Dodgers have some momentum. In fact, momentum will carry a long way. You're not able to turn it off and on as a team, and that's what the Reds are going to have to try to do.
To which team do you give the edge in this short best-of-5 series, Joe?
Well, normally I would give that to the momentum-carrying Dodgers, except the Reds have the best balance in the entire National League. And I don't think there is an edge. I think we'll know after tonight's ball game. We'll have to see how the Reds left-handers are able to handle the middle of the Dodger power, which is all right-handed. We'll also learn how the Dodger right-handed pitchers will be able to keep the Reds from running the bases. If they can't stop the Reds on the bases, the Reds could run away with it.
Something to keep in mind, too. We mentioned 18 of 31. Their last 31 games, the Red lost. They have lost their last 10 on grass, and here at Dodger Stadium, that's what they'll be on. Each team going with their #1 pitcher tonight. For Cincinnati, it'll be Pete Schourek, an 18-game winner. 17-game winner Ramon Martinez will go for Los Angeles. We'll have the starting lineups when we come back, but right now, let's check in with Hannah Storm. That has been subject to a riveting news-breaking scenario today. We hope to offer you a pleasant alternative this Game 1 of the best-of-5 series. Here is tonight's Budweiser starting lineup for the Cincinnati Reds. Managed by Davey Johnson. Thomas Howard leads it off and plays center field. Barry Larkin at short. Ron Gant in left. Reggie Sanders in right. Hal Morris bats 5th and is playing first base. Benito Santiago behind the plate. Brett Boone at second. Jeff Branson is third. And the pitcher is left-hander Pete Schourek. That's who will face the right-hander for the Dodgers tonight, Ramon Martinez.
And Martinez has really played pitch well down the stretch. He even had a no-hitter this year, July 14th. He pitched a no-hitter. He throws a fastball and a changeup. Those are his 2 best pitches. He also throws a slider. Dodgers were rated last in the National League defensively, but once they made the change with Fonville at shortstop and Wallach came back to play every day, they have actually played very well down the stretch. They are no longer a defensive liability anywhere out there on that ball field.
Ramon Martinez's problem, when he has problems, is the base on balls. He walked 81 hitters. That's the most in the National League this season.
Early in the ball game, he's up high, throws a lot of high fastballs. If he can get you to swing at him, he gets you out very easily. But that is where his problem lies sometimes, the high fastball up and out of the strike zone.
Switch hitting Thomas Howard leads it off for Cincinnati. And he swings at the first pitch, lines it down the left field line. It is foul into the seats. Howard hits .313 left-handed, has hit all 3 of his home runs from the left side of the plate. Right-handed, he hits .158. This is his 58th start of the season. Reds fans probably more used to seeing Darren Lewis in center field, but Davey Johnson opts with Thomas Howard to open the series. Fastball, strike 2.
I think one of the reasons he's doing that is because Thomas Howard, you need one more left-handed bat in this lineup. If the more left-handers you can get in there against Martinez, the better off you are, because he has such good stuff from the right side.
Outside, a ball and 2 strikes.
He will use the high fastball to set up his changeup, and that was the high fastball.
1-2 pitch is tight, and the count is even now at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Very pleasant 87 degrees at game time here in Los Angeles with clear skies. 2-2 pitch. Reaches out, fouls it down the left field line again.
Early in this ball game, Greg, the pitchers will have an advantage because the light is still bright here, and there's a light on the backdrop, and then it comes into the shadow. So it's like going from the light into the dark, and that can cause the hitters a problem. The background is light, and the hitting zone is dark.
Swing and a miss.
And that's the high fastball. He has an excellent high fastball. This is his strikeout pitch along with his changeup. The high fastball. I mean, right up there with 2 strikes, you're not going to be able to handle that.
So 1 up and 1 gone for the Reds here in the top of the first inning, and here is shortstop Barry Larkin. A .319 hitter, 15 homers, 66 runs batted in. That .319 average ranks him 6th among all National League hitters. High fastball, ball 1.
If you're going to lay off the high fastball in the early innings, you can have some success against Martinez.
That misses the outside corner. Let's talk again about the shades here.
Well, you see how bright it is behind Martinez, and then the ball comes into the shadows. That's very difficult to see. It's very difficult to see the spin on the ball.
That's a called strike.
The ball actually comes at you. This looks like a brown spot. You are not able to pick up the spin, the stitching on the ball to know if it's a curveball or just a fastball.
2-1 pitch. Base hit left field. So we have our first hit and our first base runner of the evening.
And maybe our first test to see if the Dodgers can stop the Reds' running game. Fastball in. He didn't get it quite in as far as he wanted, but Barry Larkin rips a single to left field. He hits the ball all over. You pitch him in, he'll pull the ball. You stay away, he'll go the other way. That's why he has hit over 300 the last few years.
Ron Gant to the plate, and Barry Larkin at first with 51 steals in 56 tries, and the 190 stolen bases that the Reds grabbed this season were the most in the major league.
And this will be the telltale sign of the entire series, I believe, how the Dodgers contain the Reds' running game. If they cannot stop the Reds from running, it'll put a lot more pressure on Piazza behind the plate. They'll have to call more fastballs, and that will play right into the Reds' hands.
Fakes the break. The pitch misses. Ball 1.
Well, he actually timed it perfectly. He did not go, but he timed Martinez perfectly on that particular pitch.
You don't know Ron Gant's story by now. Had a terrific 93 season with Atlanta. Then in February of 94, multiple compound fracture of his right leg in a dirt bike accident. The Braves relieved themselves of most of his salary. They only had to pay about $800,000 of his $5 million contract by releasing him. He didn't play while rehabbing entirely the 94 season. Signed as a free agent with Cincinnati and has had a terrific season. That one's high. 2 balls, no strikes.
I'll tell you another thing that happens when you're a base stealer and they're worried about you. It takes a lot of your concentration away from the plate. You do not always have to steal a base to help your team. He has helped to get Ron Gant into a good hitting count here. 2 balls and no strikes. Ron Gant can sit on the fastball. I don't think you'll see Barry Larkin take off this pitch. He'll probably let Gant go ahead and take his shot at it.
Go ahead, Joe.
The one thing that both of these pitchers will do, Greg, is when they're behind in the count, 2 balls, no strikes, we saw Martinez not throw the fastball. We saw him come with the changeup. Pete Short will do the same thing. They try to keep the hitters off balance, keep them from sitting on one pitch. They will throw any of their pitches anytime in the count.
The green light on the 3-0 pitch.
Well, that tells you something right there. That tells you that Davey Johnson is going to be really aggressive in this series. He's turning guys loose 3-0. I think the backswing got Piazza. Yes, you can see the backswing by Ron Gant hit him on his left wrist. A catcher does take bruises and they get a lot of bumps and bruises throughout the season.
3-1 pitch. 2.
Good fastball on the outside corner. Gant was looking for something that he could drive out of the ballpark, and watch how he hits the target right on the outside corner. No doubt you will see Barry Larkin take off on this pitch.
Gant susceptible to the strikeout. Struck out 108 times during the regular season. There goes Larkin. Broken bat. Base hit left field. Larkin makes the turn, and he'll make it to third. The Reds with runners at first and third and 1 out. So right away, Cincinnati has something going in the top of the first inning.
Well, that's the speed of the Reds. Even though that ball was a base hit to left field, Larkin was still able to get around to third base. When you take off on a hit and run, you look back. You see him look back so he can find the ball. You see a lot of base runners not look back. They do not know where the ball is. He knew right away, so he just continued on around to third base. Larkin has always been a smart base runner.
Reds with Larkin at third, Ron Gant at first, and here is Reggie Sanders. 99 runs batted in on the season. 28 home runs.
Sanders will strike out a lot more than anyone else in this lineup, per at bat. He has struck out 122 times this season in 133 games. So that is exactly what Martinez will be trying to go for here. He will go for the strikeout.
And Sanders steps out. Gant has 23 of those 190 steals for the Reds. He's over at first. Looking for a double play ball to get them out of trouble here in the top of the first. Just missed outside. 1-1. Dodger manager Tommy Lasorda on the left. Dave Wallace, Dodger pitching coach, getting his words of wisdom. Strike. Popped up behind the plate. Piazza will have a play. 2 outs.
Well, Sanders got a pitch to hit there. This pitch is up, and it's a breaking ball. It's not the fastball. He hung it up there. Sanders just did not hit it. He got underneath it. And Piazza finds it and makes the catch. Big out there.
So 2 out now with runners at first and third, and here's Hal Morris. Morris hitting .279, a much better hitter on his home turf at Riverfront Stadium than he is on the road. He hits .335 at home, just a .232 hitter away from Riverfront. batters tonight. Ed Montague is behind the plate. Bob Davidson at first, Eric Gregg at second, Frank Pulley at third, Bruce Fremming down the left field line, and Gary Darling down the right field line. 1-1. 216 batting average with runners in scoring position doesn't bode well for Morris here.
It appears that Morris is looking for the fastball in. They must have pitched him in earlier this season, but Martinez has drilled the outside corner with 2 fastballs. He's 1 pitch away from getting out of this first inning jam.
Crowd offers encouragement. 1-2 pitch. Runner goes from first. Line to left center field. Roberto Kelly on the run. Butler on the run. It bounces. 2 runs will score. Morris into second with a double, and the Reds lead 2-0.
Not a good pitch by Martinez with 2 strikes. What he did, he was trying to come inside, and he did not get the ball inside. He had painted the outside corner with 2 fastballs to get ahead. This pitch, look at that, right over the middle of the plate, and he drives it up the gap in left center field. No chance for Kelly or Butler to make the play.
26 2-base hits for Hal Morris, and the Reds lead at 2-0. And here's Benito Santiago, the Reds catcher. Swings and misses on the first pitch. Santiago hitting .286 with 11 home runs, 44 runs batted in. And the 1987 National League Rookie of the Year when he was a member of the San Diego Padres. Second with 2 out and 2 runs in. Another fastball, and that one's outside. Speaking of fastballs, Joe, you were in Seattle yesterday for the playoff game between the Angels and the Mariners. You saw your fair share of fastballs, didn't you?
I mean, Randy Johnson was on top of his game yesterday. I mean, he was overpowering, threw great. Martinez is throwing well. He's just made a couple of bad pitches.
2-1 pitch. Hit high and deep to left field. This one has a chance to go if it stays fair. Home run.
Hanging breaking ball.
His terrific numbers with runners in scoring position. Santiago delivers, and Cincinnati leads 4-0.
Well, this is a hanging breaking ball from Martinez. It doesn't do very much of anything. It's off speed, and it just stays right up there. And when Santiago hits it, he knows it's gone. Kelly just gives it a casual look, but that ball was well back into the stands.
Ramon Martinez gave up 19 home runs during the regular season. It was tops on the Dodger pitching staff. So here's Brett Boone. That's ball 1.
Not much action yet in the Dodger bullpen. They haven't even started to throw, and I think the reason for that is Martinez is throwing the ball well. He is just making too many mistakes. Fastball high, 2-0. Benito Santiago. That may not seem like a lot, but for a catcher, you know, that is a good number. There's a strike, 2-1. Martinez up to 30 pitches here in the first inning already.
2-1 pitch was up high, and he fouled it back. The Dodger bullpen is as quiet looking down from the blimp as it is from the broadcast booth. 2-2 pitch. Fouled off. Brett Boone hit his 15th home run on the last day of the regular season at Montreal. He had gone almost 200 at-bats since his last home run. Swing and a miss. So Martinez strikes out 2 in the inning, but the Reds deliver 4 in the first, including a 2-run shot by Benito Santiago. We'll go to the last of the first. 4-0 Cincy. Budweiser starting lineup for the Los Angeles Dodgers. Brett Butler leads it off in center field. Chad Fonville, the shortstop, hits second. Mike Piazza is third. First baseman Eric Karros, the cleanup hitter. Tim Wallach at third. Raul Mondesi in right. Delino DeShields, the second baseman. Left fielder Roberto Kelly hits eighth. And the pitcher Ramon Martinez. They will face left-hander Pete Schourek.
And Pete Schourek, one of the better left-handers in the league, has a good fastball, a great curveball, and a changeup. If he's getting his curveball over, it's going to be very difficult for the Dodgers to handle it. And let's take a look at the Reds defense. This is probably the best defense in the National League, statistically at least, and they're strong right up the middle. Barry Larkin and Brett Boone, two very good defensive players. Barry Larkin has won a couple of Gold Gloves, and Brett Boone is looking to win his first one this year.
Here's Brett Butler in the lineup with a .299 average on the last day of the regular season, singled in his first at-bat, and was promptly removed with a .300 average for the season. High and tight, ball one. Butler's specialty, 3 base hits. He had 8 of them this season, and infield hits, 43 of them. Tried the bunt.
Schourek, unlike Martinez, does not really have problems throwing strikes. He's usually in the strike zone or around the strike zone. He does not have problems early in the ball game as Martinez has had. Look at that. That's an unbelievable run there with just 2 no decisions. I mean, that means he was pitching well enough to stay in there and get all those decisions.
1-1 pitch. 1-2. Pete Schourek fares better against right-handed hitters than he does the lefties. Left-handed hitters get .267 against him. Right-handed hitters just .222. 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball, got him looking. So Butler is out on strikes, and we'll take the moment to remind you this 1995 Divisional Series game is brought to you by Chevrolet. The cars and trucks 36 million people depend on every day. Genuine Chevrolet. By Network MCI, how to get modern communications technology working for your business. And by Beechwood Age Budweiser, the king of beers. This Bud's for you. Chad Fonville, the Dodger shortstop, steps to the plate. Switch hitter, he will hit right-handed against Schourek. He hits .278. And as a right-hander, .244. That one's inside, ball one.
Oh, he saw the great curveball from Schourek when he struck out Butler. Again, if he can throw that pitch for strikes tonight, the Dodger right-handers are going to have a problem with him.
That one's too low, and the count is 2 balls and no strikes. Fonville was not a starter when this season began. Jose Offerman was the starting shortstop, but Offerman, with 35 errors at short, was promptly removed in favor of Fonville, who has given them a better job at shortstop.
Well, he's helped stabilize the entire Dodger defense because he and Wallach on the left side have done a great job. And they were having problems there early when Wallach was out.
Towards short, Larkin to Morris, 2 out.
Batting third.
And here's Mike Piazza. Let's go back first to Fonville.
Well, look at the background. It's a lot different now. It's darker out there, so it's helping the hitters a little bit more now. Fonville chopped it to short. But you see how quickly Barry Larkin gets in on this ball. See where he throws it from? The edge of the grass. That means he has charged the ball, gotten to the ball, and that cuts down on these infield hits that you will see from Fonville and maybe Brett Butler.
Mike Piazza steps in. That .346 batting average represents the highest ever by a Dodger catcher. What a season he has had. Ball one.
If you're a left-handed pitcher, you usually do not like to try to come inside on Piazza, but that's where you're supposed to pitch him, especially if you're right-handed. But a left-hander's ball sometimes will move back out over the plate. Not sure you'll see Schourek try to pitch him inside. He doesn't throw a slider, he throws a curveball. If he threw a slider, he could also try to pitch him inside with the slider, but he does not. So he's going to have to stay away from Piazza most of the time.
Hit to straightaway center field. Thomas Howard with room makes the catch. So the Dodgers go in order. We played one at Dodger Stadium, and it's a 4-0 Cincinnati lead. Second in the view from the MetLife blimp Snoopy 2, which is under the command of Captains Lee Bradbury and Matt Elkins. Glad to have you with us, gentlemen. Joe, how fast do you think that blimp goes?
50 miles an hour.
Oh, please, it's a blimp. Come on. 35 miles an hour.
Oh, okay.
Base hit left field. So Jeff Branson starts the top of the second inning for the Reds with a base hit. You must have been riding in some juiced-up blimps in your day. So the Reds pick up right where they left off in the first inning.
Pete Schourek.
That's already the 5th hit of the game off Ramon Martinez. Here's Pete Schourek. Pete Schourek, a .220 hitter, and has laid down 12 sacrifice bunts this season. Takes it high. Pete Schourek, in his first start as a Cincinnati Red, was against these Dodgers and hit his first major league home run off Ramon Martinez.
Well, he's a good hitter. He's hitting .220, and any time a starting pitcher can hit over .200, he is a good hitter.
Offered and missed. 1-1. To me, there are a couple of $1 million ball players around batting .220 these days who aren't pitchers.
Well, that's probably true.
Branson is at first, nobody out. Pitch. Back to Martinez, looks at second, goes to first. The sacrifice works, and we'll go to the top of the order, and as the action continues, we'll check in with Hannah Storm.
Greg, strange play from the Atlanta-Colorado game. Top of the second, Ryan Klesko grounds one off the leg of Kevin Ritz. Then Ritz's throw to first is wild, so Klesko is safe. But the umpire rules that Klesko started turning towards second. He is tagged out by Galarraga. David Justice is stranded at third. And as Klesko and Bobby Cox argue, it is to no avail as this play cost the Braves a scoring chance. It's scoreless in the second. Greg and Joe.
All right, Hannah, thank you. Thomas Howard takes the pitch inside, ball one. Howard went down swinging to start the game. He now has a teammate at second in Jeff Branson with one out here in the top of the second inning.
Well, he's been able to throw the changeup over the plate to Thomas Howard, and he's had him out front, and then he throws the fastball by him. I think you're going to see Martinez go to the changeup more now that he's given up, 5 base hits in the first inning and a third.
1-1, it's high and tight, 2 balls and a strike. Well, technically speaking, the Reds have a home field advantage in this, but it seems to me that it's necessarily an advantage to play first 2 on the road and the next 3 at home, especially if you happen to lose one of those games on the road.
Well, I think if you're the better team, you would rather start on the road because all you say there is, oh, I want to split. and the Reds think they're the better team. So what they want to do is split here. They want to win both, of course. But if the worst they do here is a split, then they go home and figure they can win 2 out of 3 at home to win the division. So I do think it is an advantage if you are the better team.
2-2-1 would be the much more equitable way of doing it.
You're right.
2 balls and a strike. Towards second to Shields. And Branson moves to third on the play.
If you are not the better team, it is a disadvantage because you could lose the first 2 on the road and go home, and the opposition would only have to win 1 out of 3 there. But when you think you're the better team, you rather start on the road in the best-of-5 series.
Well, and losing those first 2 on the road entirely possible if you consider the opposition is pitching their number 1 and 2 against you.
You're right. But if you're the best team, even if you lose the first 2, you're going home for 3, and you feel like you can win those 3. It's happened a couple of times. Houston won the first 2 against the Dodgers in 1981, and the Dodgers came back and beat them 3 here in Dodger Stadium.
Here's Barry Larkin, who singled in the first inning. Looks at strike 1.
Barry Larkin is a tough out, and especially in situations like this. I mean, he tries to get the pitcher into a position where he has to give him a pitch to hit, and when he does, he usually hits it pretty hard. A very smart hitter, smart player, smart base runner. He's just a very good player.
With runners in scoring position, Barry Larkin hits close to 350 and has hit 6 home runs. 1-1.
And again, that's because he knows how to set the pitcher up in this situation. He makes sure that he gets a good pitch to hit. Yeah, look at that. Barry Larkin, Mike Piazza, Bichette. And remember, all of those players hit 340 and above.
1-1 pitch outside corner, 1-2. Interesting to hear you say how Barry Larkin knows how to set a pitcher up when most times you're thinking about these pitcher-batter situations, it's the other way around.
Well, yeah, that's true in a lot of cases, but a smart hitter can set the pitcher up by leaning one way or the other on a certain pitch and then going back out there to get that pitch.
Fishing for an outside pitch, and Martinez escapes further damage. 4-0 Cincinnati. We go to the bottom of the second. Come back to Dodger Stadium. The Reds with 4 in the first lead the Dodgers 4-0. Bottom of the second, it'll be Eric Karros, Tim Wallach, and Raul Mondesi to face Pete Schourek. Look at those numbers for Eric Karros. In this, his 4th full season. 1992 National League Rookie of the Year. Looks at strike 1. I talked with Eric before the game and asked him what he expects from Pete Schourek tonight.
He likes to come in on me, usually off the plate, and try and get me to swing at some of those pitches and then the soft stuff away. And he doesn't like to throw too many balls down the middle of the plate, so you can't be looking for anything there. And you just got to hope that when he does come inside, make him throw it for a strike, because if he does come in and he's over the plate, you can get him. But if he's off the plate and you're swinging at it, it's pretty tough.
Nothing tough about that one. A base hit up the middle for Karros and the first hit of the night off Schourek.
But that was exactly what he just talked about. He said he tried to come in, and you got to make sure it's a strike. He comes in, but he gets it over the plate, and he lines it into center field. He said if he comes over the plate, you can get him. And that's exactly what he did right there. That's why I'm telling you, some of these hitters know what they're doing. See, now they're coming in, but he gets a strike on the inside part of the plate, and he hits it. He said he tries to come in off the plate bad, and when he does that, he causes you a problem. But if he comes over the plate inside corner with a strike, you can get him.
I love that statement, Joe, because the other part of the equation is some of them don't know what they're doing.
You're right.
Here's Tim Wallach.
I mean, they do not. I mean, and that's why there are smart hitters and there are other guys.
Tim Wallach, his 3rd season with the Dodgers, his 16th in the major leagues. Swing and a miss. Wallach favoring a left knee, which has a brace on it. Torn cartilage in that knee, and we'll have it taken care of during the offseason. Torn cartilage and a torn ligament. 0-2 pitch.
He would prefer for it to be cartilage.
Yes, I'm sure he would. Tim Wallach probably has some serious decisions to make about that, because hard to believe Tim Wallach's 38 years old.
Well, that's why he said he could not shut it down. They thought he was through for the season, but he said, this may be my last year. I've got to play as long as I can.
1-2 pitch. Outside, 2-2. Wallach will be followed by Raul Mondesi and then Delino DeShields. Wallach with a brace on his left knee, Mondesi with one on his right knee, the result of an injury in San Diego on Friday night. 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball got him.
Beautiful curveball, and as I said at the beginning, if he can get that curveball over, the right-handers will have a problem with me. Threw him a fastball away the pitch before. Now this curveball gets him two ways. He fools him with the speed, and that is a beautiful break. This ball starts in the strike zone, and then it's way out of the strike zone by the time it gets to home plate.
Saw the hitch in Wallach's stride, and that's the giveaway on the speed of the pitch.
Exactly. Curveballs can get you speed-wise or the break, and he has a good one. He gets you both ways.
Raul Mondesi, and there is the knee, which he injured Friday night, came back Saturday night to hit a decisive home run that helped the Dodgers clinch the National League West. Strike one. And right now, let's check in once again with Hannah Storm. Hannah, take it away.
Okay, Greg, we got a score in the Braves and Rockies game. Top of the third, Marquise Grissom finds this to be a home run hitter's park. Off Kevin Ritz, the Rockies starter, over the wall in dead center field. It's a solo shot. Grissom only had 12 home runs in the regular season, but a homer tonight gets the Braves and Maddox on the board with a 1-0 lead. Greg and Joe.
Hannah, thank you.
Any place with Colorado, and I'd say that may be enough for Greg Maddox. But I think in Colorado, the Rockies will score some runs.
Awfully excited about their baseball in the Rocky Mountains. 1 ball and 1 strike to count on Raul Mondesi. Eric Karros at first with 1 out in the bottom of the second. 4-0 Reds. 1-2.
Well, Mondesi is a free swinger, so he will chase a lot of bad pitches out of the strike zone. In fact, that's how you try to pitch him. This pitch here never starts in the strike zone. He's just an aggressive hitter, but that aggressiveness is also what makes him a good hitter. I think he's going to be a much better hitter when he learns to tone that aggressiveness down a little bit and make sure he gets strikes to hit.
Here's the 1-2. Breaking ball. Waited on it and fouled it off. Schourek, an interesting story. This is his second season with Cincinnati. He had a full season with the Mets, and by his own admission, he and manager Dallas Green didn't click. They waived him, and the Reds claimed him on waivers in April of 1994. That's a bargain.
That's the real bargain. To be released by the Mets, and now you're playing in the divisional championship with the Reds, and you're their top winning pitcher for the season.
But Schourek also says that he wasn't pitching and devoting his best to what he was doing with the Mets, and really doesn't blame Dallas Green for making the decision he made. 16-24 in 3 seasons with the Mets, 25-9 the Cincinnati uniform. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Outside, 2-2.
I like to hear a player take some of the blame, not blame everything on someone else, because you are the one that's throwing the baseball. You are the one that's hitting in the batter's box. You're the one that's doing it, so I think you need to take the blame if you're going to take the credit as well. Some of the blame, anyway.
Dodgers need runs. They're down 4 here in the bottom of the second inning. 2-2 pitch off speed again.
Beautiful changeup.
So 2 straight strikeouts by Pete Schourek.
Second baseman.
The curveball got Wallach. This is a straight changeup. See, just the motion fools him. He's way out in front of this. See, he swings before the ball gets there. That's what a good changeup does for you. And to have a good changeup, you have to have real good arm speed. You can't slow down your arm because the hitter will be able to see it. Schourek has real good arm speed with his changeup.
So 2 out now, and a runner at first, and here's Delino DeShields. 2 .256 hitter with 8 home runs, 37 runs batted in, a base hit to left field. Karros will stop at second.
This is a good hitting here by the Shields. The ball's down and away, and he just lines it to left field for a base hit. He's going the other way all the way. Good hitting there.
The skipper, Tommy Lasorda.
Tommy became a grandfather for the first time today. Young granddaughter's name is Emily.
We were on hand in San Diego last week when he turned 68 years of age. Here's Roberto Kelly.
Very key hitter here for the Dodgers. They need to get back in this ball game. You do not have to get all 4 at once. All you need to do is get 1 here. You need to show Schourek that he is vulnerable to your attack. And there you see what he has been doing the last 15 games. He's been swinging the bat well. And he was installed in left field on a permanent basis, and the Dodgers played much better after that happened.
Got a pitch up high and fouled it back into Santiago's mitt. 0-2.
One thing you can't do against Pete Schourek is swing at a lot of bad pitches. Whether that's the changeup in the dirt he swung at the first pitch or the fastball up and out of the strike zone. If you do not make him throw strikes, you will never hit him.
Lifetime against Schourek, Roberto Kelly is just 3 out of 17. 0-2 pitch. Came inside, broken bat, down to third. The play at second is in time, and the Dodgers strand 2. We played 2 complete at Dodger Stadium. The Reds 4, the Dodgers nothing.
The back of Johnson's hand.
I'm still working on a lot of these.
4-0 Reds as we move to the third inning. And this reminder, Thursday's a travel day in the division series. Check out the most watched night on television. Must-see TV, NBC Thursday. All new episodes of Friends, The Single Guy, Seinfeld, Caroline in the City, and the biggest drama hit on television, ER. They don't call it must-see TV for nothing, Joe. You can catch all the new episodes, NBC Thursday. Of the third inning, 3, 4, and 5 hitters in Davey Johnson's lineup. Ron Gant, Reggie Sanders, and Hal Morris to face Ramon Martinez. The Reds, 4 runs, 5 hits, no errors. The Dodgers, no runs, 2 hits, and no errors. Martinez starts it off with a breaking ball.
Well, this is the second time around you see he had not thrown a curveball the entire ball game, and he threw a curveball to Ron Gant. He wants to show them something different this time around.
And that one's down the middle, 1-1.
Let's take a look at his strength of Martinez. The changeup he will throw and try to get out of trouble with it. But he has to mix his pitches better. He can't just rely on the changeup if he gets in trouble.
Here's a fastball that missed, 2 balls and a strike.
And we saw in the first inning, he really tried to throw his way out of trouble, and he just made a couple of mistakes. He hung a breaking ball to Santiago, and he hung a changeup up there to Hal Morris.
Ball 3. Ron Gant loves to face Ramon Martinez. Full now, 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Ron Gant is what you call a zone hitter. He will look for a ball in a certain zone. Middle of the plate in, middle of the plate out. And obviously he was ahead in the count 3-1. He was looking for a ball middle of the plate in, and he got a pitch away.
Reaches out, loops it into right field. Mondesi makes the catch.
And you can see that Mondesi is having problems out there in right field running because of the brace on his knee. You see him hobbling a little bit. That was normally a very easy play for Mondesi, but he couldn't stop, so he had to just run right on through the ball. And you do not want to run through a line drive.
There is perhaps the best throwing arm in right field in the National League, but you may have to balance that now as to his ability to even get to the ball in order to throw it.
Yeah, I don't think he will be. That's a good point.
Here's Reggie Sanders. Looks at ball 1 on the outside, 1-0.
When you look at Reggie Sanders, Greg, you're looking at a guy that started as a prospect, they say he's going to be a great player. And each and every year he has improved, and that's what you want from a player. He's improved one part of his game each year. First he had problems defensively, now he's a good defensive outfielder. He used to not be able to handle a breaking ball, now he can handle a breaking ball. And he's always had a lot of power, and he has been an RBI man. He led the team in RBIs as well this year, so you're looking at a complete player when you look at Reggie Sanders.
A ball and a strike. Down to third. Wallach across the diamond for the second out of the inning. So here's Hal Morris, who came to the plate with 2 on and 2 out in the first inning, doubled, 2 runs home to get Cincinnati off to the 4-run start.
And he was the key hitter in that inning because Martinez got ahead of him 0-2. And then he made a bad pitch, and he gave up 2 runs. Then he followed with another bad pitch to Santiago for a 2-run homer. So 2 bad pitches in a row to 2 hitters in a row really has gotten him into a 4-0 deficit here.
Morris fought that one off on the inside, 0-1. We've seen Hal Morris on a number of occasions. Goes to the opposite field very well, a spray hitter. 1-1.
When you watch him hit, he just reminds you of the guy back home that plays on the softball team. He kind of runs up to hit the softball. You know, you pitch the softball under hand. Watch his feet. He moves his feet around. He does everything before the pitch. A lot of movement.
No batting coach in the world is going to advocate that.
Now, watch his feet. Look at him. Both of them will move. Look at that. He runs up and then swings. I mean, that's tough to do.
1-2 pitch. But he's got 2 hits and 2 at-bats. Base hit left field. And once again, shows his ability to go the other way.
He has always been a good hitter. I mean, he's hit well at all the minor league stops and in the big leagues. And anytime you get the ball up on him, you're asking for trouble. That was a changeup, up and out over the plate, and he just went the other way, as you said. That's the way he hits.
Joe, most people talk about balance in the batter's box. How can you maintain balance when your feet are moving?
Well, it's tough, and that's why you have to have great hand-eye coordination, which he does have, in order to do that. Normally, you want as little amount of movement as possible in the batter's box because that keeps your head still. But look at his feet. There he picks it up, sets it down, then he strides, then he moves it. I mean, he's moving all around in the batter's box. You're right. Hitting instructors will say, you can't hit that way, kid, but he's proven that you can.
You can set that stuff to music.
Yes.
Here's Benito Santiago, who hit a 2-run homer off Martinez in the first. Martinez misses outside, 1-0. At Yankee Stadium, Wade Boggs, a 2-run homer to get the Yankees started. 2-0 over Seattle in the 3rd inning. 1-0 pitches in there, 1-1. You have to wonder, how prepared do you think the Seattle Mariners are to play after having played yesterday and then the long flight back across country to the east?
They were due to arrive in New York at 3 a.m. this morning and then had to play a game at 8 o'clock. But I tell you what, they didn't mind the flight.
Better than watching at home.
You're right.
1-1 the count. 2-1.
But you're right. If you have a game like they had yesterday where you had to win to get into the playoffs, there is an automatic letdown a little bit the next day. You can relax a little bit, you think, and then pick it up. But starting the 2 games in Yankee Stadium will be difficult for them.
Santiago finished the season strong, hitting safely in 8 of his last 11 games. And started the day here with a 2-run homer in the first. Foul back. 2 balls, 2 strikes. There's Pete Schourek in the dugout.
If you're the Dodgers, you figure that you're going to have to get to Schourek in the next 2 innings to make this a good ball game, because you can't expect Martinez to pitch a shutout the rest of the way, so you're going to have to score some runs. So I think it's important in the next 2 innings for the Dodgers to get back in this game.
And Martinez had the heavy pitch load in the first inning, too. That fastball misses, and the count is full now to Santiago at 3-2. And Hal Morris will be on the run from first with 2 out in the count full. There's Ismael Valdez, who is slated to go for the Dodgers here tomorrow against left-hander John Smiley of the Reds. 2 pitch. Morris goes from first off speed, and Santiago fouls it up the first base line.
The one thing that I said about both of these pitchers at the beginning was that they would throw changeups at any time in the count. When they're behind in the count or when they're full in the count, they will throw a lot of changeups. And what that does, it just keeps the hitter from sitting on a fastball. Schourek will do the same thing, but it also opens up the fastball for you away now. You've shown him a slow speed. You can come back with the fastball if you want.
Again, Morris will be off with the pitch from first. That's in the dirt. Reds with runners at first and second and 2 out. And Martinez has had trouble in every inning. The 4-run first. He had a runner advance to second with 1 out in the second inning before retiring the side. Now he has 2 on and 2 out. In Cleveland, the rain has stopped. The Indians and the Red Sox have gone to the top of the second. Scoreless.
I thought the Indians started every day with a 2-0 lead or something. I thought they'd automatically score.
That is just a power-packed lineup, yes, from top to bottom. Here's Brett Boone. Ended the first inning on a swinging third strike.
Like Mondesi, he is a free swinger, and he does not get cheated. He swings hard every pitch.
Fastball on the outside corner, strike 1. Boone, 228 with runners at second and or third. Morris is at second, Santiago at first. Fastball is high, 1-1. Martinez throwing an awful lot of pitches.
Yes, he's throwing well, but he's throwing too many pitches to last for a long time. You have to feel like if he has to throw this many pitches when he has his best stuff, by the time they get to the 4th or 5th inning, he's not going to have that same fastball.
Pitching coach Dave Wallace keeping an eye. Hit in the air, left field. Roberto Kelly makes the catch. Martinez has thrown 68 pitches. We are halfway through the third. 4-0 Reds.
Daytime running labs out of the
BC Saturday on JAG.
He's my friend.
A deadly accident.
I was only doing what I thought was best for the court.
My man, I want my investigation.
I want to know what this is about.
Who is not telling the truth?
I'll see what I can do.
Oliver North guest stars on an all-new JAG NBC Saturday.
Back to Reds Dodgers in a moment. First, this update from Yankee Stadium. Bottom of the third, Wade Boggs at the plate. He missed the last 3 games with a strained hamstring and comes up and hits a 2-run home run off Mariners starter Chris Bosio. He only had 5 home runs all season, gave the Yanks a 2-0 lead. But then, leading off the 4th, Ken Griffey Jr., 1-2 count, and he takes David Cone deep off the upper deck in right field to pull the Mariners within 1. That's where things stand now. Let's get back to Greg and Joe.
All right, Hannah, thank you. I think Junior's got the postseason fever, don't you think?
Yes, he was very excited about playing in yesterday's ball game.
Reds 4, Dodgers nothing. Bottom of the third inning, Ramon Martinez leading it off for Los Angeles. 1-2 pitch toward third. Across the diamond. Ransom to Morris for out number 1.
See, that's the defense that the Reds have that a lot of other teams do not have. They make all the plays. And see, this is not an easy play. He has to back up, backhand it, and then throw across the diamond. I mean, the point was he made a nice catch of the ball. A lot of times that ball will bounce off the fielder's glove, go down the left field line. Reds are a good defensive ball club.
To the top of the Dodger order now, and Brett Butler, who looked at a called third strike his first time up. Say, Joe, that there aren't a lot of guys who enjoy playing the game. I'm sure there are, but Brett Butler hard, but right at second baseman Brett Boone for out number 2. It's just that Ken Griffey looks like he's having so much more fun than everybody else.
You're right. I mean, that's exactly what I think of when I see him play the game. He's having fun.
Two up and two gone in the last of the third inning, and here's Chad Fonville, the Dodger shortstop.
Quick note, Greg, the pitching helps the Cincinnati defense. They were playing Brett Butler to pull, so he pitched him inside. He got the ball inside. He hit the ball hard, but they're already there. Pitching helps your defense. If they can pitch to where you were forcing them to, you want them to hit the ball, then you're in good shape, and that's what the Reds pitchers do well.
Look at how tight Morris at first, Branson at third are in on Fonville. Fonville swinging. Morris now backing up, as is Branson third, with a 2-strike count. No balls, 2 strikes now on Fonville. Early start time for the Dodger fans here. Stands are slowly filled up. Strike 3 call. Fonville looks at a call, third strike. We've played 3, 4-0 Reds, and we'll continue after this from your local station. And I'm Greg Gumbel. Welcome back to Dodger Stadium for the start of the 4th inning. Jeff Branson, Pete Schourek, and on the top Howard, and there's ball 1. Reds with 4 runs in the first inning, a 2-run double by Hal Morris, a 2-run homer by Benito Santiago. Martinez beginning to fall behind hitters, 2-0. If I remember correctly, that's already 70 pitches for him tonight, Joe. And that means the Dodgers will have to deal with what has been a suspect bullpen from time to time. Foul down the left field line makes the count 2 balls, 1 strike.
Well, you're right. They are going to have to get into that bullpen. Even if he holds them for a couple of more innings, he's not going to be able to go through 8 or 7 innings like they wanted him to do at the beginning. I don't think he's going to throw more than 115 or 20 pitches.
2-1 pitch. Pop foul. Piazza with a play. One out. We'll take this opportunity to tell you this 1995 Division Series game is brought to you by Buick and your local dealers. The new symbol for quality in America. By Beechwood Aged Budweiser, the king of beers. This Bud's for you. And by the makers of Advil. Dusky Hollywood, California. It is dusk. I guess you could call this dusk.
Yes.
Did you ever grow up wondering, when is dusk? This is dusk. We're in dusk, Joe. Pete Schourek swinging and fouling it back, 0-1. If you ever wanted to get thoughtful at dusk, now is the time. Schourek sacrificed a runner along back in the 2nd inning. He's now down in the count, no balls and 2 strikes, and doesn't get cheated with the bat in his hand.
You're right. Well, he's a good hitter, as I said. He's hitting .220, and that's a good average for a pitcher. And as you made the point, pretty good average for some everyday players.
Yankees with a 2-1 lead on the Mariners. Hit hard to right field. Mondesi on the way back to the warning track and pulls it in. Enough said about Mr. Schourek's hitting ability.
Well, when he hit that ball, he thought it was going to be over Mondesi's head, and so did I. The ball did not carry well after it got out there. I mean, he gets a good swing on this. He thinks it's over his head. Mondesi made a fine play, He went straight back and made the catch.
Mentioned before, Pete Schourek homered off Ramon Martinez in his very first start for the Cincinnati Reds. 2 up and 2 gone, and here's Thomas Howard, the leadoff hitter. As he stands in, he is 0 for 2 on the day. High and tight.
Now this fastball, they were trying to hit the inside corner. You see the target by Piazza, but it's way inside, and Howard was stepping in and had to bail out very quickly.
Pitch. Chopped toward the hole and through. And he's going to try for 2. Mondesi guns, and it's off the mark.
That's the red speed for you and the hustle. They know that Mondesi has a bad leg out there and he can't charge the ball as he normally does. So good heads up base running there by Thomas Howard. He chopped that ball to the right side, and I mean, he just hustled out of the box and made it into second base easily.
I think DeShields may have been fooled a little bit by this chopper, and it got through a lot faster than he thought it would.
Well, DeShields thought that Karros was going to get it, and Karros thought that DeShields was going to get it. You see, he just hustles right on into second base. Even a good throw would not have had him by Mondesi, because Mondesi is just not getting to the ball quick enough with the bad right knee.
So Thomas Howard turns a little chopper into a run-scoring possibility for the Reds. Here's Barry Larkin.
And the Red speed will keep pressure on the defense.
Ball 1. Reds now with 4 runs, 7 hits, no errors. The Dodgers, no runs, 2 hits, and no errors. There's Davey Johnson. Pitches foul. Davey Johnson, by all accounts, including his own, will not be back to manage the Cincinnati Reds next season.
So he is now the former regular season manager of the Reds, right?
And the current postseason manager.
Yes.
Ray Knight, the third base coach, is said to be standing in line, but well, you'd have to wonder with Sparky Anderson calling it quits in Detroit if there might be a place for him in Cincinnati. Who will make the decision. Marge Schott, Reds owner, and next to her, to the left, general manager Jim Bauer. Two balls, 1 strike. With 2 out and a runner at second for the Reds here at the top of the 4th inning. Ball 3.
He's trying to be very careful to Barry Larkin because he was able to get Larkin to chase a bad pitch last time up. He figures that's not going to happen again, so he's trying to make good pitches.
Here's the 3-1 pitch. Ball 4. This has not been Ramon Martinez's best effort, and here comes pitching coach Dave Wallace.
Number 6, Ron Gant.
Well, the Dodger bullpen is still inactive, and Wallace talking to Martinez. He's up to 82 pitches, but the Dodgers still must see something that they like in the way Martinez is throwing the ball, Joe.
Well, again, he hasn't quit out there. He's still throwing the ball hard. His location is his biggest problem. He is not able to get ahead of the hitters and then get them to chase the high fastball. He is just falling behind too many hitters. And I'm sure in his own mind he figures I have a better chance of getting Ron Gant out if I make good pitches than I do Barry Larkin. So I think that's what he's figuring, but he has fallen behind Gant each time and then had to give him a pitch to hit. So we'll see if he can get ahead of Gant in this at bat.
Here's Gant with 2 on and 2 out here in the top of the 4th inning. Ball 1. And as we continue here in Dodger Stadium, let's check back with Hannah Storm. Hannah.
Greg, at Coors Field, tied at 1, bottom of the 4th. One of the Blake Street Bombers, Vinny Castilla, with a 2-run home run off Atlanta starter Greg Maddux. One of Maddox's 2 losses this year came to the Colorado Rockies. And remember, Castilla taken from the Braves in the expansion draft, Greg.
All right, Hannah, thank you.
I mean, even Greg Maddux can't shut him out in Coors Field. As good as he is.
Well, you know what? He won't do it with pitches up that high.
No, you're right.
2 balls, no strikes. The count to Ron Gant. Martinez continues to struggle, and now a little activity in the Dodger bullpen. Chopper towards short. Fonville short hops in the 4th and 2nd. Nice play by Fonville to escape further damage. We'll go to the last of the 4th. 4-0 Cincinnati. For the 4th, I asked Reds pitching coach Don Gullett, how do you pitch to Mike Piazza? Here's what he said.
Well, he certainly, everybody knows he's a tremendous power hitter that hits for an average. So, you know, I think the key to him is stay out of the middle of the plate, to middle out, to middle up is the ball that we think that he drives the most. I think you got to keep the ball tight on him. Hopefully you get ahead, make him conscious of the ball inside, and then if you get ahead of him, then you make him offer at some bad pitches down, whether they're breaking balls or change-ups or even fastballs off the plate. You just got to stay out of the middle of the plate, because if you get that ball up and out over the plate, he's going to hit a long way.
And Pete Schourek starts him off with 1-0 off the plate that Piazza offered at and missed 0-1.
Well, he pitched exactly as Gullett said. They went inside the first time up and got him out, so they made him conscious of that. Then they went back outside.
Pop foul. This one will reach the seats 0-2. And Don Gullett, well, you know Don Gullett well, Joe, but what an athlete he was in high school at McKell High School in South Shore, Kentucky. He pitched a perfect game and struck out 20 of the 21 hitters that he faced. He once scored 72 points in a football game, 47 points in a basketball game.
That's your typical athlete, right?
Typical.
Yeah.
Don Gullett pitched in 6 league championship series and 5 World Series. Off speed, 1-2. Piazza tonight, a fly ball to center field to end the first inning, his only trip to the plate so far. 1-2 pitch. Tight. 2-2.
And you see exactly how they're pitching him. Inside with the fastball, away with the off-speed stuff. Gullett didn't want to give you their entire pattern, but that's exactly what they're doing.
Inside again. 3 balls, 2 strikes now on Piazza.
And I think you'll see him go away with a fastball this time. He will not come back inside when he thinks Piazza may be looking for one inside.
The view from our MetLife blimp, Snoopy 2. Full count pitch. Left field and easily playable for Ron Gant.
That was a beautiful pitch. That was a changeup away. He was going outside again, and he got it away. Now watch the target that Santiago gives. Outside. See out there he wants it? There it is. Changeup outside, and Piazza's out in front of it. Can't handle it. Just beautiful pitch after coming inside with a fastball to keep you honest. Goes back with a changeup. Very difficult to handle that.
So 1 up and 1 gone in the last of the 4th inning, and here is Eric Karros, who singled to lead off the Dodgers' 2nd inning and was stranded. Pete Schourek has shut the Dodgers out on 2 hits so far.
Most of the time you try to pitch Karros the same way that you pitch Piazza. By staying away with the off-speed stuff, you come inside, you come in hard with a fastball. They're very similar type hitters. Piazza a little better hitter in that he handles the ball away from him a little better than Karros does. Karros likes the ball really pretty much middle of the plate in.
1-1 pitch. Low. Joe, when you hear about studying pitchers, and you used to do this, this is what a ball player sits on the bench and talks about with another guy.
You're exactly right. I learned so much about how to read pitchers from Johnny Bench, who was a catcher, and we'd sit next to each other in the dugout, and he'd point out things to me, how he's gripping the ball, how he'd do certain things, and over the years, I just learned to be able to read pitchers.
Check swing, and the looper towards second for out number 2.
Johnny Bench could sit on the bench and watch. That's a pun there, huh? He could sit there and watch the pitcher, and he could tell you just about every pitch he was throwing just by watching his grip or the way he started his windup. And that comes from being a catcher, seeing so many pitchers start from different motions, and he could tell you just about what that pitch was and where it was going to be.
Here's Tim Wallach, who went down swinging in his only trip to the plate so far. Schourek starts him off with a breaking ball that misses low, ball 1.
It's interesting the way that Santiago is working Schourek. When he wants the ball away, he really pushes away, makes sure he doesn't get it in. As you see, another great catcher.
Former Dodger catcher,
John Roseborough. I tell you what, he could outsmart you. You better not be at the plate trying to think along with him.
2-0 pitch. Inside, ball 3. Schourek has yet to walk a batter tonight. He has 4 strikeouts.
I read an article where John Roseborough was going to go to work for the National League office, hoping to evaluate umpires. He can do that. He knows umpires well.
3-0 pitch. 3-1. Is on. The first base on balls issued by Schourek tonight.
Right fielder.
And that'll bring up Raul Mondesi.
Truthfully, Greg, I get the feeling that if anybody's going to be able to get the Dodgers back in this ball game, it's going to be Mondesi. For some reason, I feel like he's the guy that's most dangerous to Schourek because he is aggressive, because Schourek doesn't have a real pattern with Mondesi. He knows exactly what he wants to do with Piazza. He knows exactly what he wants to do with Karros. But because Mondesi is a free swinger, there's not any set way to pitch him.
Inside fastball misses. In other words, what you're saying is because he's a free swinger, he's not susceptible to a pattern.
Exactly. He's not as disciplined, so therefore he's not going to lay off the pitch you want him to lay off of and swing at the one you want him to swing at. You can do that with Piazza and Karros. They will swing at the pitches that you think you can get them out with.
Swing and a miss. 1-1.
Good pitch.
Mondesi, lifetime, is 3 for 14 against Pete Schourek.
But that's the kind of hitter he is. Like I say, he's so aggressive that, I mean, you make any mistake, and it doesn't really always have to be a mistake. If you get a ball where he can reach it sometimes, he's strong enough to drive it out in any part of the ballpark.
You saw Mondesi's numbers with 2 out and runners on. Inside, 2-1. Dodgers went down in order in the first and in the third. In the second, singles by Karros and DeShields bookended a couple of strikeouts, but there was no scoring. Here in the fourth, after 2 out, Wallach is on first with a base on ball. And Dodger fans want some action from Raul Mondesi. 2-ball, 1-strike pitch. In the air, playable in left field. Ron Gant makes the catch. We are 4 complete at Dodger Stadium. The Reds lead it 4-0.
Back to Dodger Stadium in a moment, but first the Red Sox get on the board at the Jake. Scoreless game, top of the third. Boston shortstop John Valentin with a 2-run shot off Dennis Martinez to make it 2-0 Red Sox, and Roger Clemens pitching a heck of a game. He's retired the first 9 batters that he has faced. Greg and Joe.
All right, Hannah, if form holds true, that should be an awfully high-scoring series, Joe.
Yes. Yes.
Top of the 5th inning. The Reds send Reggie Sanders, Hal Morris, Benito Santiago to the plate, and a base hit down the left field line. Sanders makes the turn at first, will go for 2. The throw will not get him. It's a stand-up double for Sanders. 36 doubles, the 4th best in the National League during the regular season, and the Reds have a runner aboard and nobody out here in the 5th inning.
Well, he hangs a breaking ball again to Sanders. Sanders doesn't get all of it, but he hits it toward the end of the bat down the line. You can see the speed of the Reds. Sanders, we saw Thomas Howard run a chopper into a double. They will do that to you. The Reds use all of their weapons to score runs.
Sanders out at second, nobody out, and again the Dodger bullpen about to get busy. Here's Hal Morris, who is doubled in 2 runs in the first, singled in the third. The man who dances in the batter's box. Base hit right field. Mondesi charges. They will hold Sanders at third as the throw comes in. 2 pitches, 2 hits, and runners at first and third for Cincinnati here in the top of the 5th. And both of them hit like rockets, Joe.
Yeah, they tried to cross Marsh up and come inside with a cut fastball, but Marsh was looking for a ball that he could pull, so he ripped it to right field. You know, they're like you. They know that he goes the other way well, so they tried to come in. He just ripped the ball to right field. And he is a good hitter.
Oh, Hal Moore is showing just how good a hitter he is here tonight. A double to left center, a single to left, and now a sharp line drive single to right. And out of the dugout again comes Dave Wallace. 2 pitchers warming up in the Dodger bullpen.
Well, they have not had much time to warm up this inning because they've hit the first 2 pitches.
And that's what this visit to the mound is all about.
Yeah, they're trying to give them a little time to get loose.
The right-hander is Pedro Estacio. The lefty is John Cummings. And there is an absolute town meeting at the mound. Denver, the Rockies lead the Braves 3-2 in the 6th inning. Chipper Jones is homered. The Yankees still holding on to a 2-1 lead on Seattle at Yankee Stadium in the 5th. And in Cleveland, the Red Sox on John Valentin's home run lead Cleveland. Here's Benito Santiago, a 2-run homer in the first. He walked in the third. And suddenly, more trouble for the Dodgers. On the first pitch, Santiago follows it back. So the Reds haven't waited at all on Ramon Martinez here in the 5th inning.
Well, once you see a pitcher once or twice, a couple of times in the game, you feel like you know what he's going to do to you. You know what his pitches are doing. You really do not have to wait any longer. They know exactly how he's pitching tonight. He's basically using 2 pitches, the fastball and the changeup.
Outside 1-1, and Martinez has pitched well against the Reds this season. 2-0 with a 1.93 earned run average. It's been blown away in this game. Dodger infield is back. 1-1 to Santiago. In the air to right field. Mondesi down the line, deep enough to get a run home. Morris tags but holds at first. Sanders comes across the plate. It's 5-0 Reds.
Maybe the Reds were right. They can turn it off and turn it on. I mean, they have 9 base hits already in this ball game.
3 RBIs tonight for Benito Santiago. Here's Brett Boone. The Reds well on their way to accomplishing what they want to accomplish, which is winning at least 1 here in Dodger Stadium.
Exactly.
Boone is 0 for 2. And has closed out the inning each time he's been to the plate tonight. MetLife Blimp teaming up with NBC Sports tonight to provide an aerial view of Dodger Stadium. Snoopy 2 does not require a home base, we're told. He's constantly on the road, logging over 60,000 miles a year.
Kind of like you, huh? Doesn't have a home base, constantly on the road.
Thank you.
60,000 miles a year.
A ball and a strike to Brett Boone. Martinez, we are in the top of the 5th inning. And has thrown an awful lot of pitches tonight. 92 to be exact. Line drive, fair ball down the third base line. Morris makes the turn. He'll move to third. Boone on his way to second with a double, and the runners will hold at second and third. And they have hit some shots off Ramon Martinez here in the fifth inning.
Well, he had been able to stay away from Boone the entire ball game. He finally gets one middle of the plate in, and Boone, as I said, never gets cheated.
Dave Wallace out of the Dodger dugout. We'll tell you about the new pitcher when we come back to Dodger Stadium in just a moment. Back at Dodger Stadium, and Tom Lasorda looking at a 5-run deficit as John Cummings comes on from the Dodger bullpen. A bullpen, Joe, as we mentioned earlier, that's had its troubles.
Well, it's had its troubles because they've used them sporadically. I don't think he has a lot of confidence in very many of his relievers. He has a lot of confidence in Worrell, of course, because he has been the stopper and done a good job. Osuna has pitched better down the stretch after a stint on the disabled list, so maybe he has a couple of guys down there he has confidence in, but when you have to go to the pen this early, it really doesn't matter. I mean, you're not going to get a lot of quality when you go to the pen in the fourth and fifth inning.
So Martinez is finished for the night, and on comes John Cummings, and we'll take our break now and come back to Los Angeles in a moment.
At first at Coors Field, the Rockies' Kevin Ritz working with a 3-1 lead, top of the sixth. That's Rookie of the Year candidate Chipper Jones of the Atlanta Braves with a solo shot. His 5th home run against the Rockies this season brings the Braves within 1. They now have 2 on and 1 out, and they have chased Ritz from the ballgame. Back to Greg and Joe.
All right, Hannah, thank you. Tom Lasorda looks on as John Cummings makes an appearance from the Dodger bullpen. 35 games for the Dodgers in the regular season. He's 3-1 with a 3.00 earned run average. He'll face Jeff Branson and then Pete Schourek. Reggie Sanders doubled to lead off this 5th inning. Hal Morris singled in the 3rd. Benito Santiago lifted a sacrifice fly to right field for a run. Brett Boone doubled. And there's a called strike.
Well, the Dodgers are playing the infield in on the left side and halfway on the right side. You do not have to play all the way in, I don't believe, because Morris does not run that well at third base. So halfway is probably as close as you should come, because otherwise you just open up too big a hole on the right side.
Morris is at 3rd. Boone is at 2nd. Center field. This one's going to hit and roll. 2 runs come across. Branson holds at second. 2-run double. 7-0 Cincinnati.
And the Reds are just doubling them to death. And you're right, they have hit some bullets this inning. I mean, not one of the balls this inning are just normal line drives. These are all ripped in the gap. They were planning around to left center field. The ball's almost straightaway center field, but since they were shading him so far to the left, no chance to even cut it off by Butler. And once they get it back in, he has a double and 2 more runs for the Reds.
11th hit of the night for the Reds, and you're right, Joe, 5 of them have been 2 base hits. Here's the pitcher, Pete Schourek.
And he even attacks the first pitch. He is not going to get cheated.
Well, remember, he hit a shot off of Martinez, which was caught by Mondesi at the warning track in the 4th inning. Swing and a miss. Take this opportunity to remind you tonight on a special edition of Dateline. Jane Pauley and Stone Phillips take you through a day of truly extraordinary emotion here in Los Angeles in the O.J. Simpson courtroom. It's the end of the trial of the century on a special edition of Dateline tonight, following your late local news. Do not miss it. Swing and a miss, and Schourek goes down on strikes and a couple of sweeping curveballs from John Cummings. Second out of the inning to the top of the order, and Thomas Howard.
Well, he threw him one curveball and fooled him. Here he comes another. This is a big sweeping curveball, but it is a strike. Good pitch there by Cummings.
Is it true, Joe, that
your attention, please?
You have to have a natural ability to hit a fastball, but you can learn to hit a curve?
Howard.
Well, that's a matter of philosophy. The curveball is slower, so therefore it means that you have time to catch up with it. You have to have good hand-eye coordination and be pretty quick to hit the fastball. So I guess in theory that has some merit. But I believe you have to be able to hit the fastball in order to handle the curveball well. That's my opinion.
Here's Jerome Walton, who's stepping in as a pinch hitter for Thomas Howard.
But there are a lot of different theories in this game, and I don't think there's any one way. That's the great thing about baseball. There's more than one way to accomplish something.
Thomas Howard was 1 for 3 tonight. Walton, a .290 hitter, fouls it off. 8 home runs, 22 runs batted in. The 1989 Rookie of the Year. We got a lot of former Rookies of the Year in this game tonight. Mentioned Benito Santiago with the Padres back in '87, and Mondesi, Queiroz, and Piazza for the Dodgers.
And maybe Nomo.
Maybe. Hideo Nomo scheduled to pitch Game 3 against the Reds in Cincinnati on Friday. 1-1 pitch. High, 2 balls and a strike. As we continue here, let's check in with Hannah Storm. Hannah.
Braves have tied it up. Steve Reed on the relief for the Rockies. Braves on first and third. Pinch hitter Luis Polonia, the grounder to third. The Rockies get the force at second, but Polonia beats the throw to first. He's saved. Justice comes in to score. It is now a 3-3 ball game in the 6th. Back to you, Greg and Joe.
Thanks, Hannah. The count on Jerome Walton is 2 balls and 2 strikes. There is Hideo Nomo, far right. The only ball player I've ever seen with his own press entourage. 2-2 pitch. Right center field, Mondesi for the 3rd out of the inning. The Reds inflict more damage. We go to the last of the 5th, 7-0, Cincinnati. Not a bad view of downtown Los Angeles. Joe, if you were curious, the sun is going down. It's not coming up. Okay. That's just a reminder. Program note. Bottom of the 5th inning. Jerome Walton hit for Thomas Howard and has replaced him in center field. And the Dodgers will send Delino DeShields, Roberto Kelly, and we presume a pinch hitter for pitcher John Cummings. Pete Schourek cruising along with a 2-hit shutout here in the bottom of the 5th. Outside corner, 0-2. Dropped down a little bit on his delivery and sailed outside. A ball and 2 strikes. Schourek not wasting any time out there. He's just getting the ball back and ready to fire again. 1-2 pitch.
And that's another point that I was talking about when I said your pitchers can really help your defense. If you work quickly, you keep your defense on its toes. And also, if you pitch to the spots where they've talked about in the meetings, you're going to have a guy standing in that position where they hit the ball. That's what's interesting about scouting reports and pitching to those scouting reports. A lot of teams, everyone takes scouting reports, but sometimes their pitchers can't pitch according to that scouting report and get the ball exactly where they would like.
Breaking ball stays high, 2 balls and 2 strikes. What aspects of the scouting reports interested you? Tendencies for the hitters?
Yes, tendencies about where they would hit the fastball and where they hit the breaking ball.
2-2 to DeShields. Base hit. DeShields is 2 for 2 tonight and has 2 of the 3 Dodger hits. Dodgers are going to want to make a decision on him. His contract is up at the end of this year, and there are rumors that the Boston Red Sox might like to have him.
Well, DeShields is a good player. Here's a fastball. He gets it out in front, hits it over the left center, over in the left center field, over the shortstop's head, and that's where a left-handed hitter should try to stay with a good left-handed pitcher. You try to stay out over the plate and back to the middle, and you can go ahead and pull the breaking ball, hit the fastball back to the middle.
Roberto Kelly. Fastball is high, ball 1. Nobody out. The Dodger crowd beginning to make a little noise. Hit hard to right field, but Reggie Sanders is there for the catch. That'll bring Billy Ashley to the plate. Hitting for John Cummings. Ashley just 2 out of 14 as a pinch hitter, a .237 hitter on the year with 8 home runs and 27 runs batted in.
Now batting for Cummings.
Tom Lasorda searching for some offense somewhere.
Well, at the beginning of the year, Ashley was supposed to be their left fielder, and he did not get off to a good start. Then they used Todd Hollinsworth out there a little bit. That did not work, so they ended up trading for Roberto Kelly. And then they ultimately got Brett Butler to play center field also. So Ashley had his opportunity early in the year. He was minor league player of the year last year.
Takes the first pitch, breaking ball for a strike. Mariners still trail the Yankees by 1. Boston still with a 2-run lead for Roger Clemens. The Braves and the Rockies tied up in the 6th inning. 0-2. Schourek has done a terrific job of changing speeds tonight.
And remember at the beginning I said if he had control of his curveball that he could really give the Dodgers fits, and he has had excellent control with his breaking ball. We have not seen anyone hit his breaking ball yet.
0-2 pitch. That one stays outside, a ball and 2 strikes.
One of the problems that Ashley had this year is, I mean, he has a big, long swing, and he is really not disciplined yet enough to lay off certain pitches. He has a lot of holes in his swings. They can go upstairs with the fastball, downstairs with the breaking ball. You give them too many options, you're not going to be able to hit well in the big leagues.
Holds up on his swing, pitch in the dirt. Count is now even. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Scored 4 in the first, 3 in the 5th. And they chased Ramon Martinez, the Dodger starter. 2-2 to Ashley. Missed inside, and the count is full. Joey Amalfitano, the Dodger third base coach, peeks into the dugout and sends the signs across the diamond to Delino DeShields. As he checks the runner at first, let's go to Hannah Storm.
We join the action now at Yankee Stadium. Yankees up 2-1, 2 outs for David Cone, who has loaded the bases and facing Dan Wilson. Gary Thorne and Tommy Hutton with the call.
Yankee Stadium rocking. The Yankees lead 2-1. Strike 2.
With Cone getting ahead so quickly, remember he was able to strike out Flowers on something a little bit out of the zone. The only way Dan Wilson is going to see a pitch in the strike zone the next couple pitches is if Cone makes a mistake.
2 down, 0-2 count. runners left, 2 on in the 3rd inning, 2 more on in the 4th inning. They have the bases loaded here in the 6th. David Cone, having to work with the bases loaded and 1 out, struck out Blowers. Ahead on the count here, 1-2 to Dan Wilson. That'll be out of play.
One of the few times in the last 2 hitters between Blowers and Wilson that Cone has gone inside. Last minute you saw Stanley setting up inside for a fastball. Credit Dan Wilson for at least getting a piece of that pitch and fouling it off. Good fastball right there, borderline strike. Wilson battled.
He lined out hard to Wade Boggs his last time up and was denied an RBI. He's behind on the count here, 1-2. 31st pitch of the inning for Cone. Bases loaded. 1-2. Dale Scott, the first base umpire. Said he didn't go.
We've seen a lot of the close calls tonight, the check swings, not being called strikes. Sometimes you see them go the other way.
2 down, 2 balls, 2 strikes. So David Cone could not get him to chase one out of the strike zone. It's 3-2.
And keep in mind, this started 0-2. We talked about Cone trying to get him to chase something. It's been a great at-bat for Dan Wilson. Does Cone still go a little bit away with bases loaded? Take that chance?
We're going to find out right here. 3-2, 2 down. Runners go. He walked in a run, and this game is tied. A tremendous at-bat for Dan Wilson, who worked that count full and laid off the pitch, and it's 2-2.
And so David Cone walks in the tying run at Yankee Stadium. Let's get back to Los Angeles. Greg Gumbel and Joe Morgan, the Reds lead 7-1.
All right, Hannah, while that was happening, Brett Butler with the base hit and the RBI up the middle. And here it is.
Well, it's a breaking ball. He struck him out with a curveball his first time up. Butler just slashes it back up to the middle for a base hit. And the Dodgers are on the board.
So the Dodger fans, it's something to get excited about. Runners now at first and second and 1 out. And here's Chad Fonville. Schourek is high, ball 1. Delino DeShields started this inning with a base hit to left field. After Roberto Kelly flied to right, Billy Ashley, pinch hitting for Cummings, drew a walk. Butler singled a run home. Outside corner, 1-1. Ashley is now on second. Butler is at first and 1 out. There you see the runners. Fonville would like to keep things going for Piazza, Karros, Wallet, and Mondesi to follow. To second for 1. Larkin's return, double play. And the Reds escape further trouble. The Dodgers come up with 1 and trail 7-1.
The Mercedes E-Class.
Dodger Stadium at night as we move to the top of the 6th inning. Cincinnati leading it 7-1, and the new Dodger pitcher is Pedro Astacio, who began the season in the starting rotation, Joe, but after a 1-6 record as a starter, he was moved to the bullpen.
Yes, and he was replaced in the starting rotation by tomorrow's starter, Ismael Valdez. And Valdez pitched very well. Astacio took a long time to adjust to the bullpen, but once he got adjusted, he actually pitched pretty well out of the bullpen.
Speaking of tomorrow, we'll be right back at you with Game 2 of this best-of-5 series. Valdez will pitch for the Dodgers. John Smiley, another left-hander, will go for the Cincinnati Reds. Barry Larkin, Ron Gant, Reggie Sanders to face Estacio here in the top of the 6th inning. Ball 1.
Well, here's Gullick and Schourek talking. Gullick's a pitching coach, and Gullick is telling him you were dropping down a little bit instead of getting back up on top. And that last inning was the only inning he's had a problem with with the Dodgers. But he was dropping down a little bit with his arm and not staying on top of the pitch.
Barry Larkin with a single in the first, a strikeout in the second, and a base on balls in the fourth. 1 ball, 2 strikes. It off with a 1-2 count as we continue here. Once again, here's Hannah Storm. Hannah.
Greg, you just saw David Cone walk in the tying run at Yankee Stadium. The next batter, the Mariners' hero of yesterday, Luis Sojo, with the bases loaded. But Sojo flies out to right to end the inning. So Cone escapes without further damage at Yankee Stadium. We are all tied up at 2. Back to you, Greg and Joe.
Thanks, Hannah. Barry Larkin continues to foul pitches off here. The count is still a ball and 2 strikes. The Reds, 7 runs, 11 hits, no errors. The Dodgers, 1 run, 4 hits, and no errors. Estacio, the 3rd Dodger pitcher of the night. Larkin fouls it off. That went in on his fists.
Well, Estacio has made some good pitches here to Larkin. You can't get the ball inside half of the plate. You've got to get it on the inside corner or off the inside corner, and he's been able to nail the inside corner with a couple of pitches here. And he's been able to tie Larkin up a little bit.
Fastball, 2-2.
Estacio has a curveball, a changeup, and of course a fastball. All your Dodger pitchers, starters especially, all have good changeups. Nomo, of course, throws a split finger forkball, which becomes a changeup.
Estacio misses with that one, and the count now is full to Larkin at 3 balls and 2 strikes. To Estacio. 1 down.
Another good pitch.
That'll bring up Ron Gant. There's the Dodgers skipper. It's amazing to think. In his 46th year with the Dodgers, his 19th as a manager, 11 years as a player, 4 as a scout, 8 as a minor league manager, 4 as a coach.
Maybe he really does bleed Dodger blue, huh?
Oh, I'm sure he does. And I'm going to tell him you were doubtful. He says 1 man and 1 man only will make the decision as to whether or not he comes back as the manager next year or not. And that's Peter O'Malley of the Dodgers. And he says he will accept whatever decision Peter O'Malley makes.
That's Peter in the white shirt and the tie up on top and the glasses.
Look, Ron! Hey, Pete. 1-1. 2.
There's that beautiful changeup from Estacio. And here's the change. Palm ball. Strike 2.
Single in the first inning, 3 trips to the plate. Two and 2. In fact, every Cincinnati starter, with the exception of Schourek, has reached base tonight.
That's that balanced attack that we talked about.
Estacio with the 2-2 pitch. Strike 3 call.
That's what makes the changeup so effective. It gets you looking for another pitch.
I want to remind you, tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 o'clock Pacific, postseason baseball continues. Game 2 of the division series. We'll be back here in Los Angeles as the Dodgers host the Cincinnati Reds. Some of you, especially those of you in the Chicago area, will see Boston take on Cleveland. We ask you to check your local listings. Regional coverage of Game 2 begins tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific Time here on NBC. Reggie Sanders looks at strike 1, and Pedro Estacio looks to be in good form tonight. Foul off down the right field line. Dodgers with Roberto Kelly in left, Brett Butler in center, Raul Mondesi in right. Tim Wallach is at third, Chad Fonville at short, Delino DeShields at second, Eric Karros at first. The battery of Pedro Estacio and Mike Piazza.
Estacio is never in any hurry. Greg, we talked about when you work quickly, it helps your defense.
0-2 misses outside, a ball and 2 strikes. Pitcher who works quickly helps keep the infielders' minds in the game.
Yeah, and keeps them on their toes. And we throw a lot of pitches out of the strike zone that they have a tendency just to relax too much.
Here's 1-2. Got him swinging. Estacio strikes out 2 of the 3 hitters he faces here in the top of the 6th inning. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th. The Reds 7, the Dodgers 1. The skies, a look at Dodger Stadium. Welcome back. Greg Gumbel along with Joe Morgan. We move to the bottom half of the 6th inning. And the 3, 4, and 5 hitters for Tom Lasorda to face Pete Schourek. Piazza, Karros, Wallach. Misses on the first pitch. In fact, of the 3, 4, 5, and 6 hitters, only Eric Karros has a hit. He singled leading off the 2nd inning. Two balls, no strikes. 2-1. During the regular season, the Dodgers scored 94 runs in the 6th inning, their best scoring inning all year long. 2-1. Hit hard, right center field, and this one will go. Season, 93 runs batted in. Piazza found one to his liking. Well, the one thing that Schourek has been able to do is stay ahead of the hitters. Now that keeps him from looking for a pitch. He got behind Piazza and he had to throw him a fastball, board over the middle of the plate, and he hit it hard. Karros got a little anxious and went for one up and out of the strike zone. Yeah, I think he was trying to hit that one about 100 feet past where Piazza hit his. He really let it all go there. 1 pitch. Karros up the middle. Boom. Back of second. Nice play. And got his man. Let's take him.
Third baseman, number 29, Tim Wallach.
Activity in the Cincinnati bullpen. Dave Burba is up and throwing.
Berber came to the Reds in the Deion Sanders trade. Deion, of course, going to San Francisco. Berber, Portugal, Brantley, Darren Lewis, all coming to the Cincinnati Reds.
Here's Tim Wallach. Dodger fans still buzzing a little bit about Mike Piazza's home run, but they are still down 5. Check swing, just past the pitcher. Boone on the move, made the play. 2 out, and now we'll take a moment to tell you that this 1995 Division Series game is brought to you by Lexus Luxury Automobiles, the result of a relentless pursuit of perfection. By the most prescribed medication of its kind, now for heartburn, Tagamet HB. And by Burger King, where you can get your burger's worth. Rally cap action happening here. It's a little early for the rally cap, isn't it, Joe?
No, they're 5 down. They need something in a hurry.
Brett Boone showing you on the last 2 plays why the Reds sport the best defense in the National League.
You're right. They all seem to be on their toes. They move. They play very good defense, especially the infield.
Mondesi is swinging a miss. And Brett Boone, the best fielding second baseman in the National League, with a .994 fielding percentage.
They have some good second basemen in the National League. Craig Biggio won the Gold Glove last year from Houston, and also Mark Lemke, second baseman in Atlanta.
A ball and a strike. Strike 2. Bases are empty, 2 out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. And Mondesi goes down swinging. So the Dodgers just get the Karros home run. It's 7-2, and we'll come back after this from your local station. As we move to the top of the 7th inning, and Hal Morris lays one at the third base line and rolls foul. There's a thinking ball player, Joe. He rips one to left center, rips one to left, rips one to right, and then tries to drop one up the third baseline.
Well, he's leading off the inning. He's trying to get something started here. The Reds have a 5-run lead, but you know, they're trying to break it open even more so. And he's leading off the inning. Not a bad play, just to get on base some kind of way.
Morris 3 for 3, 2 singles, a double, 2 runs batted in. Towards second, where DeShields will field it and throw him out. 1 up and 1 gone for Benito Santiago. And Benito Santiago furnishes our MCI proof positive replay. Back in the 1st inning with a teammate at second, Santiago tied into a Ramon Martinez pitch and lifted it up and over the wall in left field for a 2-run homer. Benito Santiago with our MCI proof positive replay. At the time, it gave the Reds a 4-0 lead. Santiago with a homer, a walk, and a sacrifice fly has 3 runs batted in tonight. Good, and the count is no balls and 2 strikes. And with that, we check in once again with Hannah Storm. Hannah.
Greg, in the bottom of the 6th, Mariners and Yankees tied up at 2, and Don Mattingly playing in his first ever postseason game. Finally. Now, what does he do? A clutch hit to right field with a man on. That scores Bernie Williams for the go-ahead run. Don Mattingly's first ever postseason hit, and it's a big one. Yanks lead 3-2, Greg and Joe.
Thank you. You think back to all of the players who never got a chance to play in postseason, and I guess the one that comes to mind most readily for me is Ernie Banks.
That would be the one that I would second that. Billy Williams, of course, one of the great Hall of Famers.
We don't know for sure that this is Don Mattingly's last season. He has indicated he would like to come back for another year at least. You'd certainly hate to see his career end without some postseason. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Swing and a miss.
Stasio is dealing. I mean, he has come in and he has struck out 3 hitters in 2 innings.
Second baseman.
Yankees lead the Mariners 4-2. The Red Sox with a 2-0 lead as Roger Clemens retires 16 of the first 17 hitters, and the Rockies and the Braves doing battle into the 8th inning, tied at 3. Here it's 7-2 Cincinnati.
All the other teams are evenly matched.
Here's Brett Boone. Stasio misses with the fastball. Boone with a strikeout, a fly ball, and a 2-base hit. Talk about lineage. Here's a guy with lineage. His dad, Bob, for 19 years, Major League catcher, now the manager of the Kansas City Royals. And his grandfather, Ray Boone, all-star infielder. I believe Brett has a brother who's in the farm system.
Right. He's come a long way as a player, too. When Brett first started playing for the Seattle Mariners, he just didn't have enough discipline, either in the field or at bat, to be a major leaguer. And he has worked hard, and he's developed into a very fine defensive second baseman, and he's also contributed a lot offensively for the Reds the last couple of years. Still swings a little too hard for a little guy, but I mean, he does not get cheated. Very aggressive hitter.
Stasio with the 1-2 pitch outside, 2-2. We've talked about the quality of their defense. How do Brett Boone and Barry Larkin measure up as a double play combo, Jim?
They're very good. They make the double play well. They're a very good defensive ball club. And again, you have to look at the middle of the diamond, because that's where defense is. That's where it starts, really, with your catcher, Santiago, good defensive catcher.
2-2. Outside, 3-2. Stasio is throwing awfully hard tonight.
He's throwing hard and he's hitting spots. And you see what he led National League second baseman with only 4 errors this season, 138 ball games.
Here's the full count pitch. Got him swinging. Stasio has struck out 4 of the 6 hitters he's faced. We'll go to the last of the 7th. 7-2.
Back to Dodger Stadium in a moment. First, the Braves and Rockies tied at 3. Bottom of the 7th, Greg Maddux with the bases loaded, facing the top pinch hitter in baseball, John Vanderwall. Gets Vanderwall to ground into the 1-2-3 double play to end the Rockies' threat. Maddux has allowed 9 hits. He has no strikeouts, but the Braves still okay. It's a tie ball game. Greg and Joe.
All right, Hannah, welcome back to Dodger Stadium, and Delino to Shields with a 1-0 count against Pete Schourek as the Dodgers bat in the bottom of the 7th. This one lifted foul down the third base line and will make the seats.
Interesting note on the Greg Maddux situation. He has a losing record in playoff competition. He has not pitched well.
Must be a bum.
Yeah. As great as he has been during the regular season, he has not been dominant.
I think Money would be a good nickname for him.
Money? Okay.
What an outstanding pitcher, and pitcher in every sense of the word. Mark Guthrie in the Dodger bullpen as we head toward the bottom of the Dodger order. What a job Pedro Stasio did in his 2 innings. 3-1, the count on to Shields. Stasio faced 6 hitters, struck out 4, and retired the Reds in order in both the 6th and 7th innings. Now the Dodgers looking for some offense. Three and 2. Pete Schourek up to 93 pitches on the night.
Well, Lasorda said the pitch was up.
Gosh, ump. 3-2 pitch foul. Tommy uses those gee and gosh and golly words. Golly, that looked high to me. The Shields will be followed by Roberto Kelly, and then a pinch hitter for Estacio. Full count pitch. Ball 4. The Shields has been on every time up tonight. 2 singles and now a base on ball.
Left fielder, number 21, Roberto.
And that'll get him up and moving in the Cincinnati bullpen. Kelly has bounced into a fielder's choice and flied out to right in his 2 plate appearances tonight. That one high and away, ball 1. Mike Jackson loosening up for Cincinnati. Mitch Webster is in the on-deck circle for the Dodgers to hit for Estacio. 1-0 to Kelly. 1-1.
And you see the Dodgers being a little more selective. They're taking a few pitches whenever he falls behind in the count because they need base runners. And you saw Delino De Shields take a 3-1 pitch for a strike, and you see Kelly take a strike.
1-1 to right field. Sanders near the line has a play. Second time tonight Kelly has lifted one in that direction.
Well, it was a changeup. It took, watch him, see how he checks right there and then has to wait for it. And when you slow down like that, it slows down your bat. And that's what a changeup is designed to do, to make you recheck your swing, and it slows your bat speed down. You're not going to be able to drive it. And Kelly thought he should have hit it better. And I'm sure that if he knew it was going to be a changeup, he could have hit it better.
So here's Mitch Webster, a 179 hitter, 6 for 35 as a pinch hitter with a home run and 3 runs batted in. Fastball for a strike. Schourek has not fallen behind many hitters tonight.
You're right. I mean, and that's why he has been able to keep the Dodgers under control, especially the middle of the lineup.
Nubber up the first base line, foul. And Pete Schourek is now at 100 pitches even on the night. Tied at 4 in the top of the 7th at Yankee Stadium, and Griffey has hit his second home run of the night. Pitch outside, 1-2, and let's take a moment to check back in with Hannah.
Well, Greg, here's how the scenario unfolded at Yankee Stadium. Bottom of the 6th, the Yanks up 3-2, and the Mariners' Jeff Nelson on in relief when Mike Stanley singles home Don Mattingly to give the Yankees a 3-2 lead. It was short-lived because in the top of the 7th, Ken Griffey Jr. bringing the Mariners back with his second homer of the night. That's 2 home runs off David Cone. He has driven in 3 of the Mariners' 4 runs. We now have a tie ball game at Yankee Stadium. It's 4-4. Greg and Joe.
All right, thank you, Hannah. Mitch Webster with the bouncer to Hal Morris, who got the force out on Delino De Shields at second. So Webster is on with the fielder's choice, 2 out, and the top of the order with Brett Butler.
I guess that answers your question that you asked me about Ken Griffey Jr., didn't it? About he was excited to play in yesterday's ball game.
He's always excited to play. Always excited. Of course, I would imagine if you have Ken Griffey Jr.'s talent, it's more exciting to play.
Yeah, you're right. Was that which comes first, the chicken or the egg, huh?
Butler to straightaway center field. Jerome Walton there, and any hopes of a Dodger rally in the 7th go by the boards. 7-2, Reds. He moves to the top of the 8th, and it is now time for the Lexus Diamond Dust Fact. Whitey Ford started the opening game of 8 postseason series, an all-time record. The question, Joe Morgan, who started and won the first game of 5 series? Take your time. The 4th Dodger pitcher of the night is left-hander Mark Guthrie.
And Guthrie, of course, came over from the Minnesota Twins with Kevin Tapani in the trade in the middle of the season. They needed another starter. They acquired Tapani, and they also acquired Mark Guthrie to come in and get left-handers out.
19 hits allowed and 19 and a fraction innings pitched. He'll face Jeff Branson, Pete Schourek, and then Jerome Walton.
Leading off
here in the top of the 8th inning.
Number 20, third baseman, Jeff Branson.
And he won't face Pete Schourek because the Reds will pinch hit for him here in the top of the 8th inning.
And I think that's a good move for the Reds, because if you're planning on going through and winning the World Series, the fewer amount of innings you can have Schourek pitch at this time, the better off you'll be later on into the playoffs. And I think that's what they're trying to do, have him throw a certain number of pitches and save him for the next start. And especially when you have a 5-run lead. You have Mike Jackson and then Jeff Brantley as your closers.
Here's Mariano Duncan, who will hit for Schourek.
Cute number, 77.
Pete Schourek finished for the night. Not a bad outing for him. 5 hits in 7 innings, 2 earned runs, walked 3, struck out 5. Branson takes a strike on the outside corner. 2 balls and a strike. Branson with a single and a double in 3 trips to the plate. His 2-base hit in the 5th inning drove home 2 runs. This ball misses and the count goes to 3-1. Ramon Martinez started for the Dodgers tonight. Cummings came on in the 5th. Astacio in the 6th. Guthrie now in the 8th inning. Ball 4. So here is Mariano Duncan.
Your attention, please.
Dave Wallace wants somebody up in the Dodger bullpen. And he's going to get somebody up.
Number 77, Mariano Duncan.
Interesting story with Mariano Duncan, Greg. The Atlanta Braves tried to get him from the Philadelphia Phillies, and the Reds blocked it by claiming him on waivers, and they then went back and traded for him and kept him from going to Atlanta. The Braves wanted him, but the Reds did not want them to have him, so they took him himself.
Duncan, hard hit ball up the middle to second for 1 to first, double play. Fonville to DeShields to Karros, and it clears the bases now with 2 out in the 8th inning.
Perfect double play ball, and let's see how they handle it. Nice toss there by Fonville, and DeShields turns it over. When they're hit that sharply, it's like playing catch. That's the easy one.
Jerome Walton.
Here's Jerome Walton, who came on as a pinch hitter for Thomas Howard back in the 5th inning, and he is 0 for 1. Stayed on to play center field. Guthrie's first pitch to him is high for a ball. Good luck with the soap tonight. 1-0 pitch. 2-0. Well, I don't think Mark Guthrie wants to fool around with the top of the order here with Barry Larkin and Ron Gant and Reggie Sanders lurking. There's a strike, 2-1.
There are a lot of scouts here, you know, charting these teams in case their ball clubs would have to play them later in postseason play. One of the people I saw today is interested in was Dick Williams.
In the air, that'll make the seats 2-2.
He's won a couple of championships of his own, and he works, of course, for the Yankees, and he's scouting these 2 teams in case the Yankees would play them in the World Series. Mike, I know him. That's Mike Brio. He charts. Well, he actually holds a radar gun. There it is for the Dodgers. He charts the speeds.
Did he hold up on his swing? He did not. Walton is out on strikes. Bob Davidson punches him out at first. We'll go to the last of the 8th inning. It's the Reds 7 and the Dodgers 2.
Back to Dodger Stadium in a moment. Meanwhile, in Cleveland, Boston and Roger Clemens up 2-0. 2-on for MVP candidate Albert Bell of the Indians. The double to the gap in left center. Omar Vizquel scores easily. And then a play at the plate on Carlos Baerga. Tough play for Mike McFarland. Can't hang on to the ball. Baerga scores the tying run, and Albert Bell is safe at third base. And then the next batter, Eddie Murray, knocking in the single to right field. Bell comes in to score the go-ahead run. It's Cleveland on top by a score of 3-2 in the 7th inning. Let's get you back to Dodger Stadium.
All right, Hannah, thank you. Mike Jackson has come on to pitch for the Reds here in the bottom of the 8th inning. And he will see Chad Fonville, Mike Piazza, and Eric Karros. Fonville turning around to hit left-handed for the first time tonight. Larkin can't make the play.
Yeah, that's a base hit anyway. Anytime Fonville hits the ball and the infielder has to move at least 2 or 3 steps, they're not going to be able to throw him out.
That's a base hit indeed. Time for our Toyota Diamond Dust answer. The question was, who started and won the first game of 5 series? You just missed it, Joe. Red Ruffing won the opening game of 5 postseason series. That is an all-time record. There's a base hit scored for Chad Fonville to get things started for the Dodgers here in the 8th inning. Here is Mike Piazza, who rifled a home run to right center field to lead off the 6th inning. Fastball inside.
Jackson has a very good fastball. He lives and dies by the slider too often, but he has a good slider and a good fastball. He'll throw the fastball inside as he did there to Piazza, and he throws the slider away, of course.
1-0. 2-0. Jackson had a terrific final month of the regular season, allowing just 1 earned run in over 13 innings.
Well, he was with the Giants for the last couple of years, and he was a setup man for Rod Beck.
3-0. The on-deck hitter is Eric Karros. Dodger fans with something to get excited about. 3-0 pitch. 3-1.
Davey Johnson not worried about it.
Tommy Lasorda sees a little something to maybe get excited about. 3-1 pitch for Mike Piazza. Base hit left field. Fonville makes the turn. Play at third. He's in there.
Well, not a smart play there by Fonville. He makes it, but Davey Johnson's going to go out and argue. When you're 5 runs down, you have to be sure that you can make it, almost standing up.
And Chad Fonville took the brunt of that collision at third. And taking a look at him, Joey Malfitano pointing to his chin.
Fastball grounded in the hole to the left side. Now watch, Sanders comes up firing. It looked like they were going to have him. I'm sorry, he fires a strike to third base. Throw beats him. Fonville slides around the tag. And looks like a pretty good call by the umpire. But a real big chance they're taking by Fonville when you're 5 runs down.
Really unnecessary, too, wasn't it?
Yes.
So Fonville is okay.
And you see it from all different angles. It looks like he just got his hand in there. Tough call for the umpire, but a good call it looks like. And remember, we're looking at it in slow motion. The umpire had to call it right away.
Here's Eric Karros. Karros with a single in the 2nd. A soft liner to 2nd in the 4th. And a ground out to 2nd in the 6th.
Well, Jackson will be trying to get him out with a slider away. He does not want to make any mistakes inside if he can help it.
Santiago.
You're right. That ball, I don't know how he caught it. I mean, watch. I mean, Santiago just jumps. This pitch is way off the plate outside. Look at that. Santiago with the quick reactions is able to grab it.
Dodger fans making some noise. 1-0 pitch. 2-0.
That's what he wants to get him out with, a slider away, but not up.
Eric Carroll's career 4 for 10 against Mike Jackson. There is no one throwing in the Cincinnati bullpen. Toward third. The plate is at the plate. Fonville goes in standing, and he's out.
Yeah, but that's not the right play. You've got to take the double play and give them a run. You don't care about the run. You'll trade a run for 2 outs there. He's got to go to, I mean, this is a double play ground ball. Carroll's not out of the box yet. All Branson has to do, go to second, back to first for 1. This is actually a good play by Fonville because he forces them to take him at the plate. And it keeps the inning going. It keeps him from running out. There's the tag by Santiago. But not a smart play there by Branson. He's got to take the double play in that situation. You would have 1 run in, but 2 outs and no one on base.
Well, Fonville may have been surprised to see the ball come zinging in over his shoulder.
Well, he probably was because, again, that was not the proper play to make.
Runners at first and second and 1 out now, and here is Wallach. Foul ball. Wallach 0 for 2 with a walk tonight. The hitter, Mondesi on deck. Between them, they are 0 for 5 tonight. The runner at second is Mike Piazza. Eric Carroll's at first, 0-2. To Wallach. 1-2. Braves and Rockies are tied at 4 in the last of the 8. Yankees with a 2-run lead on Seattle in the 7th. 1-2 pitch. Still the ball and 2 strikes. Production from the middle of their lineup. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Popped it up. Second baseman Brett Boone for the second out of the inning. So Jackson comes right back, and we'll take this opportunity to remind you tonight a special edition of Dateline. Jane Pauley and Stone Phillips take you through a day of emotion in the O.J. Simpson courtroom. The end of the trial of the century on a special edition of Dateline tonight. Following your late local news, don't miss it. So after a promising start to the inning for the Dodgers, Mike Jackson comes back and gets Tim Wallach, or rather Eric Carroll, to bounce out and Wallach to pop out, and here is Mondesi.
Well, to be perfectly honest with you, this inning should be over with the Dodgers having 1 run. If they were taking a double play, that would have been the 3rd out. So let's see if it does cost them. And as I said earlier, Mondesi's going to have to give them some production if they're going to come back in this ballgame.
Jammed him down to third, to second for the 4th, and the Reds are out of the inning. Nice job of pitching by Mike Jackson. We've played 8 complete, 7-2 Reds.
Back to Dodger Stadium in a moment. First, Braves and Rockies. Braves up 4-3, bottom of the 8th. Ellis Burks at the plate, and Burks with a double off Braves reliever Alejandro Pena to score Dante Bichette with the tying run. Ellis Burks has driven in 2 runs tonight. That game is tied. We don't know the outcome, but we do know one thing. Greg Maddux will not get a win for Atlanta this evening. Meanwhile, the Mariners at the Yankees. Bobby Ayala on the hill for Seattle and trailing 6-4 when Ruben Sierra expands the Yankees' lead with a blast. A 2-run home run. The Yanks now lead the M's by a score of 8-4 in the 7th inning. Greg and Joe.
Hannah, thank you. That looked like a third-deck shot for Ruben Sierra, didn't it?
Yeah, and he put a little hot dog on it, too, didn't he? A little mustard on that dog.
Top of the 9th inning, Antonio Osuna is the new pitcher for the Los Angeles Dodgers. He will face Barry Larkin, Ron Gant, and Reggie Sanders. Inside, ball 1. Osuna with 45 strikeouts in his 44 innings. 46. Check swing by Larkin.
Osuna is actually the guy the Dodgers would like to have as a setup man for Todd Worrell. He's the guy that they like to bridge the gap from the 7th inning to get to the 9th inning. Of course, they're using him tonight to get his feet wet, I think, in postseason play.
2-0 pitch, foul, 2 balls and a strike. What we've seen is a very typical performance by the Cincinnati Reds here tonight, Joe.
Exactly.
A lot of hits, little power, solid pitching, terrific defense.
And that's exactly right. They've shown you the balance in their ball club. Speed, pitching, defense, and power.
This one fouled. Piazza on the run. Can't get there.
And you're right. It's a typical kind of a Reds victory. Maybe not as much, you know, showing maybe a few more runs scored than normal, but playing good defense, good pitching, and speed. Their speed, I think, is the difference in their ball club as compared to the Dodgers. Both teams have some power. But I think the Cincinnati Reds have speed, and I think they have more speed than any other team in the National League.
See Ron Gant waiting his turn. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Barry Larkin. Line foul down the first base line.
Osuna runs it up there about 92 to 94 miles an hour, and he throws a changeup. Those are his 2 basic pitches.
Indians with a 1-run lead on the Red Sox, 3-2, top of the 8th inning. Pitch. Up high and tight, and runs the count full now to Larkin at 3-2. We're in the top of the 9th inning. The Reds 7 runs, 11 hits, no errors. The Dodgers 2 runs, 7 hits, and no errors. Osuna, the 5th Dodger pitcher of the night. Follow that. Ramon Martinez started and was throwing hard, but consistently fell behind hitters and made a few mistakes.
You're right. He was throwing well. His location was off, and that's what really got him in trouble. Right away in this ball game, in the 1st inning, he made some good pitches, then a couple of bad pitches, and it cost him 4 runs in the 1st inning.
And Larkin fouls another one back. Red Sox and Indians have now tied it up. Top of the 8th inning. It's a 3-3 game at Jacobs Field. Three balls, 2 strikes. Another full count pitch to Larkin. Line to center. Butler coming on. Can't get there. Traps it. Base hit as Larkin holds at first.
Well, Butler gave it a good attempt But you can see he does a good job of just being able to knock it down and keep the ball from bouncing past him.
Left fielder, number 6, Ron.
So here's Ron Gant. Gant is 1 for 4. A single in the first inning. Rode home on Hal Morris's double. Osuna, well aware of Barry Larkin's 51 stolen bases this season. Swing and a miss. Mike Piazza, his job of gunning down those base runners for the Reds figures to get tougher after this because Martinez was the best of the Dodger starters at holding runners close.
You're right. Ismael Valdez, who pitches tomorrow, does not hold runners well at all.
Nor does Hideo Nomo, right. And Candiotti throws the knuckleball.
So you're right. It will get more difficult for him just to keep the running game in check. You're not going to be able to stop them from running, but you should be able to keep it in check.
Oh, 1 pitch. There goes Larkin. And Gant fouls it back. Davey Johnson and the "you can never have enough runs" school of thought.
Well, you have to remember this is a playoffs. Everything else is out the window. I mean, you're trying to win a playoff game. You try to score as many runs as you can. You would hate to not try to score a run. In the next pitch, he hits into a double play, and then the Dodgers come back and score 5 in the bottom of the 9th. So your job is to get as many runs as you can and to win the ball game. You don't worry about embarrassing people now.
That one's up high. 1-2.
During the season, you may not want to run with a 5-run lead or a 6-run lead. You do not want to embarrass the other team. But when you're in the playoffs, you have to try to make sure that you score enough runs that your team is going to be able to hold on.
And no offense taken on the other side.
Exactly. I don't know. Not in this situation.
A ball and 2 strikes. There goes Larkin. Outside. The throw. And Larkin is in there. Not a bad pitch for Piazza to handle, but he had to reach the other way for it.
Well, it's just difficult to throw out Barry Larkin. He has 51 stolen bases. He was only caught 5 times. He just gets a great start. And the throw, as you mentioned, is on the shortstop side. No chance for the Shields to catch it and bring it back.
So now the Reds with a runner in scoring position and nobody out here in the top of the 9th inning. Balls, 2 strikes to count on Ron Gant. Breaking ball, and he lifts it to short left field. Fonville out, Kelly in, and it's Kelly who calls for it and makes the catch for the first out. And we'll remind you that this 1995 Division Series game is brought to you by Gillette Sensor and the Gillette Series. Gillette, the best a man can get. By Texaco Clean System 3 gasolines. And by Wendy's Spicy Chicken Sandwich. Get it while it's hot. Reds 7, Dodgers 2. We're in the top of the 9th inning. And we have a fan on the field, out in right field. Red Sox Indians are tied at 3 in the 8th inning. The Braves with a 1-run lead in the 9th at Colorado. And they're having a bit of a problem getting the intruder off the field. Now we're set to go. Here's Reggie Sanders.
Right fielder, number 16, Reggie Sanders.
Sanders Dodgers with a 2-base hit to show for his efforts tonight. Barry Larkin is at second with 1 out. Looking ahead to the Dodger 9th inning, it'll be DeShields, Roberto Kelly, and a pinch hitter for Antonio Osuna.
Well, he has a very good fastball. And the one thing about Osuna, he will keep the fastball up.
Just like the other one.
Perfect spot, up and in. Toughest pitch to handle is a good, hard fastball up and in. You can stay up and under the hands, you will usually be pretty successful if you throw over 90 miles an hour. It's one of Roger Clemens' favorite pitches.
No balls, 2 strikes with 1 out. And he went around. A lot of heat from Antonio Osuna for the 2nd out of the inning. We'll remind you that the executive producer of NBC Sports is Tom Roy. Coordinating producer of the Baseball Network, John Filippelli. Coordinating producer for NBC Sports is John Gonzalez. The Vice President of Operations for the Baseball Network is Ed Delaney. Studio producers Lance Garrett, Bill Graff, and Sam Flood. Studio director is Rick Piva. Tonight's game produced by Mark Wolf, directed by Ken Fouts. Associate director John Vassallo. And production manager Suzanne Turner. Statistician Paul Newman. And Hal Morris going to get the ultimate compliment here.
Well, they have a base open, and you have Benito Santiago on deck. Even though Santiago has hurt the Dodgers tonight, he is right-handed, and they would rather face him in this situation than to face Hal Morris.
So Morris trots down to first. Barry Larkin is out at second with 2 out, and here is Santiago. 2-run homer in the first. A sacrifice fly, which brought home a run in the 5th. So Osuna checks out. The sign from Mike Piazza. Piazza doesn't throw. And Barry Larkin took everybody by surprise, including Tim Wallach down to third.
Now there's only so much that the Dodgers will accept, though.
Runners at first and third and 2 out. Foul ball.
As we said, you steal a few bases, no offense taken, but I think that only goes so far.
Well, clearly the Dodgers weren't prepared for that.
Right. And there you see Lasorda's not real happy. I don't think he's real happy with that one. The first one I don't think bothered him. But to steal third base like that, I think it does bother him a little bit.
Morris at first. Barry Larkin is over at third. Larkin started this inning with a base hit. Stole second. Ron Gant flied out. Sanders struck out. Hal Morris was walked intentionally. And Larkin spiked third. 1-1 pitch. 2-1. It is raining in Cleveland in the top of the 8th inning. The Red Sox and the Indians are tied at 3. The Braves ahead of Colorado in the 9th inning on Chipper Jones' 2nd home run of the game. 2 balls and a strike. High in the air, right center field. Butler, no, it'll be Mondesi with the catch. So the Reds are down. The Dodgers coming up for their last swings.
Home runs. The The shot off Kirk Leskanik here to put Atlanta ahead by a score of 5-4. So a memorable first ever postseason game for the rookie Chipper Jones. Greg.
All right, Hannah. Oh, that'd be Hannah. Thank you very much. Bottom of the 9th inning. Reds with a 7-2 lead on the Dodgers. Darren Lewis has come on to play center field for the Reds. Jerome Walton has moved from center over to left. And Jeff Brantley is the new pitcher.
Your attention, please. For the Reds, now pitching.
There you see the numbers for Brantley. He is their save person. He picks up all the saves. He has 28 saves. He's their stopper. And they're using him in this game just to get an inning or two, get one inning in, I guess.
Lewis.
Jeff Brantley, of course, was also acquired after he left the San Francisco Giants. They have 4 or 5 Giants pitchers on this staff. Dave Burba came over, did a great job. Mike Jackson and Mark Portugal along with Brantley.
Mark Portugal, a possible Game 4 starter for Davey Johnson. Here's Delino DeShields. Singled in the 2nd, singled in the 5th, walked in the 7th. Dodgers need 5 to tie. There's a strike.
Brantley, fastball, curveball, and a splitter.
And a fast worker, too. That one's in the dirt. So the Reds defensively now have Walton in left, Lewis in center, Sanders in right, Branson, Larkin, Boone, and Morris around the infield, Brantley on the mound, pitching to Benito Santiago. Down the left field line, on the run, Walton made the catch. That was in fair territory for out number 1. And tonight's Chevrolet player of the game is catcher Benito Santiago of the Cincinnati Reds. Back in the 1st inning. It was a 2-0 Cincinnati lead when Benito Santiago tied in to a Ramon Martinez pitch and put it over the wall. That effectively gave the Reds a pretty good lead at 4-0 at the time. Benito Santiago, and in conjunction with this program, Chevrolet will contribute a total of $5,000 to the Boys and Girls Clubs of America in the names of all the players of the game for the 1995 Major League Baseball season. 1 out here in the 9th inning. And here's Roberto Kelly. Kelly 0 for 3 with a couple of fly balls to right field. And Dave Hansen will hit for the pitcher after Kelly. There's a strike. Must be the moon, Joe. We've had a couple of disturbances. Some people running out on the field.
Well, I guess they got bored with their home team trailing.
1-2. Remind you again, tomorrow's pitchers, John Smiley, 12-5 on the year for the Reds. Ishmael Valdez for the Dodgers, he was 13-11. 1-2 pitch, fouled off. And the Reds about to grab a 1-0 lead in this best-of-5 series.
And that puts the Dodgers in real trouble because they have to win tomorrow's ball game. You cannot go down 2-0 and then go to Cincinnati.
Tapper toward third, on the run. Branson, high throw, safe at first.
Well, we finally see him make a physical error. They made a mental error not taking the double play earlier in the ball game. But we see him charge the ball, throw it away, and they call it a base hit. You see,
the Dodgers now batting for Osuna.
He makes the play, gets rid of it quickly, just throws it a little high. You can see that the ball would have beaten Kelly there, but it was a difficult play, so they scored as a base hit.
And here's Dave Hansen. Hansen, a .287 hitter, 11 for 35 as a pinch hitter. A home run, 14 runs batted in. And you saw they are back to action in Cleveland. Big swing and a miss by Hansen with the count 0-1. We check in once again with Hannah Storm. Hannah.
We take you live to Coors Field. The Braves leading 5-4 in the bottom of the ninth. Men on first and second for the Rockies. Mark Wohlers, the reliever, facing Larry Walker with 1 out. Pete Van Wieren and Larry Dierker with the call.
The bases are loaded for Andres Galarraga. And the winning run is in scoring position. Bobby Cox on his way to the mound, but this is not to change pitchers. There's nobody warming up in the Atlanta bullpen. Well, this is one of those come on big guy, you can do it visits. I'll tell you, we've got an interesting situation here. If Wohlers is able to get Galarraga, Wohlers a strikeout pitcher. Galarraga led the National League in strikeouts among hitters this year. If that occurs, Don Baylor is out of position players. And he would have to use the man who's going to be a starting pitcher tomorrow night, Lance Cater, as a pinch hitter. He's got him in the on-deck circle. He has nobody else left but pitchers. So this is a key man for Mark Wohlers to get, and a key at bat for Andres Galarraga if the Colorado Rockies are to stay alive here. Bases loaded, 1 man out. Atlanta leading it 5-4 in the bottom half of the ninth inning. The pitch to Galarraga. Swing and a miss. It's 0-1. The Atlanta Braves on a home run by Chipper Jones in the top half of the ninth inning in what's been a seesaw affair all night long. Leading at 5-4, but the Rockies never say die. They have loaded the bases with 1 out off Mark Wohlers here in the bottom of the ninth. 0-1 the count in Galarraga. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. It's 0-2. And again, Don Baylor is out of position players. The Rockies electing to go with 12 pitchers on their 25-man roster. His pitcher spot is due up next. The only pinch hitters he has left are pitchers. If Galarraga fails to make contact here, it's going to come down to Mark Wohlers facing tomorrow night's starting pitcher. Here comes the 0-2. High and tight, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Javi Lopez recovering to keep the runners where they are. And that ball coming in there so fast, normally you'd say, well, a guy should stop that, but I'm not so sure a guy should stop that pitch. Around 100 miles an hour, and that's what he's been throwing. Galarraga, who always swings hard, is desperate here to make some kind of contact. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 man out. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Fouled off and stays alive. 1-2. And to think of the courage that Galarraga has to summon right now after being hit in the head just a few days ago against a hard-throwing right-hander who could be a little bit wild and was on that
series playoff game against the Reds are on sale at the advanced ticket booths. Ticket booths located in lots 10, 2, and 3 will also remain open for you to purchase LCS tickets for games that may be played here at Dodger Stadium.
Greg Gumbel, Joe Morgan back in Los Angeles, where the Reds have beaten the Dodgers by a score of 7-2 in Game 1 of this best-of-5 series. We'll be back tomorrow night with Game 2. Pete Schourek, the winner. Ramon Martinez, the loser. Santiago and Piazza hit home runs, but the Reds claim Game 1 of this best-of-7 series. We'll see you tomorrow night. For Joe Morgan, I'm Greg Gumbel. Let's send you back to Denver, Colorado.
You get that call, but I think if you're an umpire, you've got to say no unless you are
is borderline. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Now the 2-2 pitch on the way. Struck him out with a high fastball.